G'day, I'm with Inforunners. I'm Execute, joined today by old man host himself, Algared. How you doing? Now, prepare yourself.
Good morning.
Prepare yourself. Inforunners. I'm Execute, joined today by old man host himself, Algared. How you doing?
Algared,
I think you might have the stream on, Algared.
I did.
Yeah, he's got a...
How am I supposed to monitor chat if I don't have the stream on? I just forgot to mute it.
Oh, okay. No problem. I've got to bring up some...
Just like I forgot to hit the start button and half
yeah,
a dozen other things.
Don't worry. I got a whole bunch of messages from Mum about that one. Don't you worry. How did you do that? How did you forget it for so long? That's right. But yeah, real good. Right, chat is going. Cool. Twitch is on. All right. Next thing is the bot. Let me get that going real quick, and then we can get started. But yeah, Algared's got a very croaky voice this week, so I'm going to try and let him rest it as much as possible. So I'll be trying to do all the questions.
So lots of questions just for Execute.
Great, thanks. It's like these who needs enemies. Right. All right, bot is going. I'm just going to do a quick test on Twitch. Boom, working. All right, cool. Bot is up. I don't see anyone in chat, but that's okay on Twitch, but I do on the YouTube. Interesting. Got a feeling that this is not working. Hang on.
I'm going to be working on YouTube.
It doesn't come through as often on YouTube. That's why I also do the test on Twitch.
Yeah.
But give it a minute, it'll come through. But I mean, here on my specifically my screen.
Yeah.
There we go. Now it's working. Right, cool. That took ages to come through. But it did. Right. Right.
So the first question from Chris: what have I been doing? Teacher interviews.
So he didn't get a chance to really rest his voice all week, sadly. But you have 30 appointments on one evening?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It does wear a voice out. The joys of teaching.
Sorry, I had to move my tea. I forgot to put it on my little warmer thing. Yeah, I have not had a lot of sleep either. I was kept up late by expat. That's okay. I did have a good time helping around. I was helping to do the event. Me and another Aussie guy were up to like 2:30 in the morning.
Yeah.
Helping to move cargo to Polaris.
I'm halfway through Crusader.
Yeah. I would recommend the Polaris if you can get a couple other people with you. It definitely speeds it up a lot. So yeah.
I was actually able to do the combat missions. That's how I got 90% of what I've done complete on the EU channel. And for that, it was just the Idris, just take it in.
Yeah.
Let the Idris guns take care of the NPCs and just...
Yeah. Well, that's the way that a lot of people are doing it. They're doing it with the combat. But I still think the cargo is the best way to go. But most people get really sick of the elevators not working. But you've only got to find one elevator that works.
Yeah.
But... And funnily enough, once you find one, someone will find you and they'll want to use it as well. It happens a lot. Yeah.
And that's the problem, though, isn't it? Finding an elevator that works. And when you're time poor, that can be part of an issue as well.
Again, it was the same thing expat, like split up and go across the area and multiply it. And when one person finds ones, you just all move to where that person is. There's a few people in there. Yeah. Hey, Tomo and his friends. He's got a few friends there. Graphic, nice to see.
Tomo, Graphic, F-Notification.
They're coming in now on Twitch as well. I don't know what was going on there before. It was like it was dead, and then they all just, we're alive.
Well, it's kind of got to populate, hasn't it? It's got to let them know that the stream's coming.
John
doesn't seem to have that same sense that YouTube has, where we can post and say, hey, it's...
John Citizen said in the first question, he goes, what are we talking about tonight? We're going to be talking about whatever questions you guys send in when you get to sending in your questions. We always talk at the start, try and populate questions, and then we go, there's a slack. They haven't done any.
No questions.
God damn it, where are the questions? Every time. It's like little kids. Well, Agus, you know about little kids teaching them at school. How annoying are they that they don't do as they're told? What do they do? That doesn't change if they become adults, apparently. They all grow up, and they still don't ask questions.
No. Or when they do ask questions, it's usually questions that try and turn you away from the subject you're supposed to be doing.
We are definitely...
you like history?
Definitely in the lull
Yeah.
period, by the way. Numbers have very much dipped off on every metric of that I can see, both in Star Citizen. A lot of people have thrown in the towel with the event, as you can imagine. But I've noticed spectacularly across the YouTube space and across the Twitch space that the numbers are down across the board, which is to be expected. It is that time of year where people go outside and touch grass in the Northern Hemisphere. I very much am not touching grass because it's usually covered in frost at the moment, so I'm inside.
It is peeing down rain here at the moment, so it's rather chill. It's actually warmer than it has been just because it's raining and it's cloud cover.
We actually prefer it when it rains, believe it or not. I can totally agree with that sentiment. If it rains, it's actually not as cold, believe it or not. That sounds crazy.
Cloud cover that keeps the heat in.
Yeah.
But yeah, so picking up Bowler's comments in YouTube, he was saying he did the combat missions as well, mainly because he couldn't be bothered with people flogging his cargo. Yeah, I did find it, and thank you, Bowler, for that basic membership on YouTube.
I did not have anyone trying to steal my cargo, not once. I've heard people say this a few times. Actually, I take that back. Last night, a Polaris did try to attack. When I first got there, they were trying to do it in a whole sea, and someone tried to attack Expat in her whole sea. It was full of cargo.
I think that what he's referring to more in the cargo stealing is the queue jumping
okay.
That doesn't help. And then you've got
that happened a lot.
The added problem of that. But for me, it was just finding a lift that was working, and I did that half a dozen times and spent hours going to lifts that didn't work. And in the end, it was just with a combat mission, and I took it and did it, and then no one was there, and no one. And
do you know,
so doing the combat missions was just going.
Yeah, one of the reasons the queue jumping almost never works is that as soon as you piss someone off, they will do everything they can to piss you off. I've seen it multiple times where I've been waiting in queue, and the two people in front of me. I told you the story about what happened. What happened to that guy, and I let him take my Raft because the other guy was. I've seen that again this week. Even when I've been helping people. Right, I'd be there just in an Atlas, like loading people that were coming along, and someone else would try to push in front of that guy, and I go, dude, it's not your turn, and he goes, I don't care, and I go, well, you're about to care. Watch this, and someone would just like, just pull every one of his boxes out and just start throwing them across because what happens? You push in front of me, well then it's not your turn, and they just grab their boxes and just fling them in every direction under the sun, and then as soon as he finished, he'd pull up his cargo, and then the guy that had all his cargo flung around would then think, well, you did to me, I'm going to do to you, and he just starts this huge fight where nobody wins. So yeah, just wait your turn. Come on, kids.
That's good. It's worse than. In some ways, it feels worse than going resource hunting in old MMOs. Where you'd get the mining node and you'd go there and everyone's lined up for a mile long. The lifts feel worse than that. And I know that sounds bad, but yeah. One day, I'm sure they'll fix it. One day.
Got another question from John. John says, when are you releasing this stream we did together? John, we didn't do a stream together. We did a show together. We pre-recorded a show, and I've got bad news for you. I'm not going to release it. We're going to re-record it because I found new information. But me and John did do 2 episodes. But I found more information that I did send you yesterday. So we're going to redo it to add that information. And Algared's going to, Craigie Voice and I are going to do it with me either today or tomorrow later. But yeah, welcome for the bad news. We don't have a single question. Are you serious? Come on, guys. Okay, right. Time to end the stream, I think. We're going to be the quickest stream of all time. But not a lot happened this week, to be honest with you, Algared. It is that quiet before the storm. I do think they kind of saw this coming a bit. I remember just before the patch release, they talked about, now this could be a completely different thing, but you notice when you hear, if you dropped a mission and picked it back up during the event, you haven't done that.
I don't think so.
Yeah, so it actually plays lines like, oh, I can't believe you failed, or you dropped the mission, or you abandoned the mission, and it's different for different places, right? But they've actually got a pre-recorded line like the pickup lines, but one for dumping it, essentially. And it's very interesting because about a couple of days or so before it came out, the event, they said, and I don't know if this ties in, but I think it does. If you drop a mission, you will no longer lose rep. Now, technically, this works on SCU. It doesn't work on rep. And I'm wondering if that is somehow interlinked. They're fixed rather than fixing the problems with all the elevators. They just go, well, you can't not drop a mission if it, knowing that would. You mentioned if that was like that, if you dropped a mission and you went backwards.
Yeah. No industry, no company would ever win.
Okay, so
but yeah.
Okay, it looks like the YouTube questions are not coming through. And there are people there that had questions. Yeah, okay, there's something going on with the bot on YouTube, and yeah, so look, it's done this. Yep, I'm going to try one more time. It's saying that the chat ID is invalid. That's interesting. There's an error that I've never, ever got before.
I was watching more of YouTube chat, and I didn't see too many questions. I've seen a couple pop in later on, but there seemed to be more discussion on things. So, Truther was saying that he's currently all of his 300 series.
They're coming in. I got them. They came in. There's about 5 of them. Yeah, I got them coming in.
So Truther was saying he's tweaking all his 300 series because of to tinker with the ship customization that CIG has brought back. So, Truther, are you just upgrading them to take advantage of that upgrade that customization token, or are you actually moving away from the 300 series, or what are you playing with as you do that? That would be what I would like to know.
Might be time for us to do another Fix My Fleet. I just realized we haven't not done. We meant to do that one that you were trying to organize at Invictus, and it never paired up. It never turned up. Do you remember that?
Yep.
We should probably do that.
We should probably trying to line them up and then get a time when we're both free
is harder and harder because this one's busier and busier of late. The girlfriend, indeed. They do that. They sucker the time. They,
it's a blessing. I will not deny.
I think that's half the reason his voice is like this, because he's always on the telephone. But yeah, I know who to blame. Winnebago. Anyway, right. Yeah, go ahead.
No, go on.
No, well, I'm reading the questions today, not you, because you're going to solve for it. But I was going to say, what I was going to say. It doesn't matter. It's not important, obviously. All right, let's do a question then. Right. What is your favorite vehicle from 2025? And that is by Cody Fox 00. Algared, your favorite vehicle? I lost Algared. Was he frozen?
No.
Right, I'm just really still. All right. Okay, you're freaking me out there for a second. The video had frozen.
I think I would have to probably say the Golem, because it's the only one I actually still have in my inventory that I actually bought.
Yeah, and I'd have to agree on that one. Because 2025 is really only the last 6 months, to be honest with you. So yeah, if it's definitely only the last 6 months, it's the Golem by a landslide.
If I take vehicles and other things as well, I'd probably say the mech, just the original mech.
That's from September though, not 2025.
True.
I'd give you the only other ship I think would even be remotely in contention would be the Idris. And maybe
because that came out this year, didn't it?
And maybe if you're a fan, the Asgard. They'd be the only 3 I'd even think about.
Given that the Idris did come out this year, even though it's an old ship, the Idris. I've got the Golem. I haven't used it.
I've used the Golem. I still think it's the Golem for me because of its price and stuff like that. Really surprised me. Like, it was genuinely a surprise. I was very happy when it came out at that price. I'd like to see more ships like that, to be honest. Starter ships should be good like that. So, yeah, and obviously we're going to get the RSI one as well, whenever that comes out, next year probably. Yeah.
I found I've used the Idris a lot more than I thought I would. And, part of it is just because at the moment You don't really need a crew. Once engineering kicks in, you're going to see every multi-crew ship wanting a crew.
Yeah.
Just because the engineering will enhance the survivability of the ship.
Yep.
So,
I think it's going to be the complete opposite of what people are expecting. People are all talking about, oh, I don't want to have all these people. No, you're going to find people are going to want to do that.
You're going to want people, and there will be people who like engineering and like doing that, and you're going to want them.
Yep. And then every big ship that comes out after that will add a different flavor, and then then they'll add in something else, some other gameplay, and it'll just enhance it again and again and again.
And you'll get people who are expert engineers on the Idris, but not very good on, say, a Reclaim, because they don't know the ship as well. And you'll get people who know the Reclaimer back to front, inside out, upside down, and get lost on an Idris. And all of those types of choices are going to be key.
Sorry,
for a second there, I thought I lost you.
I'm replying to someone. Yeah, well, I was doing it. Replying to someone's message on Twitch. They got their message deleted. Right. When are they going to fix elevators? By Citizen John. A good question.
When they can code them.
I get a massive feeling. I'm starting to get this feeling, right, with what's going to happen with the event, and that the fact that elevators are as bad as they are and they still haven't fixed them. I get this sneaking suspicion it's like an all hands on deck situation with Squadron 42. I get a massive feeling that we've almost been fed missions that are very similar, where the mission team can kind of do all the patches for everyone. And then basically most other people are working on Squadron, almost like heads down, bums up type situation.
Yeah, I was having a look at the Squadron stuff, and some of the things that they're working on in Squadron seem to only have one person doing it. Some have a small group, but yeah, it does seem there was quite a few for Squadron. I thought I saw someone they were doing trying to do something to get the list working, but I'd have to go back and have another read. It was kind of just browsing, so I wasn't really paying the utmost attention to it. But I think it's also something where they know the lifts aren't working properly. It's a coding issue. I know it's something they've talked. I remember them talking about it on a Star Citizen Live or one of the interview panels, and they said, it's a problem that's there, and some of the staff who developed it are gone. And so I imagine they've got to go back into the code and rewrite it. That would be my guess.
Makes me wonder how much their code is notarized, and how many people leave notes and stuff, and I wonder how much stuff went unchecked over the years. I don't know.
And I imagine as you're supposed to do that.
Yeah. Good coders do that.
There's lots of things you're supposed to do, and I'll get to it.
Well, most people go back and do it later because they get in the flow and they just do it. But it's really good etiquette to go back for this very reason. If you die or something, well, it's like here at Inforunners, I've got everything set up so I can die tomorrow and you guys will be fine. That's just something I planned for, because you never know when something's going to happen and go bad. So I just set it up in that way, and no doubt coding could be exactly the same thing. I just thought that would be a given, but apparently not.
Well, the intention might be, you may be supposed to do it, and your intention might be to do it. But if you get distracted, if you're busy or something goes bung, you may still intend to do it, but it falls off the radar or disappears, and you think, I did do that, and who knows?
I'm going to show you this one real quick. I got sent this photo last night by someone that's in chat. I'm not going to name him and shame him, but apparently this is a humble fleet. Would you consider this humble?
No,
not at all.
No.
For anyone that is just listening, there's like 20 ships at least, varying sizes and stuff like that. I actually think this is a really good contender for Fix My Fleet. Actually, there's no ship bigger than, I believe, the Ironclad would be the most expensive one I can see there, unless you can see one more expensive.
not offhand.
There is a lot of these small little
Yes, I was noticing these small little fightery type things, and but, yeah. But he does. They do have some quality ships. They've got the Apollo. You know, that's a ship that will be quite handy.
I have not seen a message from said individual, but I'm sure he'll be looking very shortly. They are in chat. I did wait till they turned up before I dropped this. But yeah.
All in YouTube called it a debaucherous fleet.
Debaucherous fleet. Yeah, it is a little love.
Yeah.
Yeah, but yeah.
Okay, compared to my fleet, yes, that's a humble fleet. But compared to most people, no.
Yeah. No, I think that could be upgraded easily. As long as, look, it doesn't always need to fix my fleet. But again, when you've got so many ships like that, you want to kind of consolidate it a little bit and, you know, at least have one big one along the lines of something you enjoy, because it's just going to maximize your profit in the future. So, yeah. I don't know which one there. Again, we'd have to talk to said individual and
as Easy Lagoon said, yeah, compared to some fleets he's seen in Discord, it's a pretty humble fleet. And I've seen some way up there fleets and quite big ones, and I've seen fleets even larger than mine. So compared to some fleets I've seen and fleets that I know a lot of people have, yeah, that is humble, but it's not really. In the wider scheme of things, that is about the big fleet.
Well, I think I see a few good contenders there for upgrading. Like I can see the Vulcan there, the Apollo there. That'd be, you know, good for Crucible / Endeavor.
Clearly, they're not someone who is a true convert. Where's the Endeavor and where's the Crucible?
There's a lot of, like, essentially you've only really got a couple that are into like drifting into multi-crew. Most of them are real 2 to 3 players, you know. There's only those 5 bigger ones there that go into the large department, but there's not a single capital, not one. And I would say that you probably need one, just one for safety's sake. Yeah, there are some double ups there too. Someone says drop the Raelian, but again, you've got the Raelian and the Ironclad there as well. They're both doing cargo duty. Galaxy can technically do cargo as well over there. The whole, I believe that's a C off the top of my head, but
it looks like a C. Yeah.
That also
it's hard
does
to tell
cargo.
when you're closed up, isn't it?
So yeah, this person is definitely a cargo fan. I think their capital might want to be a BMM. Just off the top of my head.
If I was looking at that and we're saying what is the you know what's the best ship for them, yeah, I'd probably be looking at a BMM.
You've also got the cargo-y kind of smuggler and the MSR as well. And this is the one that don't make sense to me. To be honest, the combat nature of the TAC, I think you could have had better options there. Maybe they're going for the cargo running attack. I don't know. I don't get that one, but yeah, really is a little bit juxtaposition for me. But yeah, yeah. If you're watching this, I know you are because I saw you in chat before. Reach out to Aaron or myself, and we'll go over it with you if you would like,
if you so desire.
Yeah. All right, I'll go back to this one.
Rabbit has a question, they say, which is related to what we were looking at. They say the Hull C are still modular, aren't they? I remember they talked about them being more than just cargo ships. They mentioned that years ago. We do know there is a Q ship variant in game, like in the lore. We also know that there's a variant of a Hull C that gets used for advertising anti-government slogans at races. But will we see those modular ability? Will we see that ability in game? That's something we don't know yet.
I don't remember them being modular, but I do remember the sign thing. But that was when they used to have signs on the outside, and they've kind of changed how the spindles work now.
In terms of modular, we do know there's that Q ship version, and they did talk about having.
What did the Q ship do? How was it modular?
It basically tacked on to the end of the cargo pod. So the cargo pods became modules or launch pads or something. But it's something that's way back in stuff.
I don't remember that at all.
And it wasn't really a modular ship changing the ship. It was putting cargo pods or having cargo pods that were unique to that.
That makes more sense why I wouldn't remember it then. Right.
And whether they do that still, because they said it long ago, I'd say, yeah, it's probably still on the roadmap. Haven't heard anything saying they're not, but haven't heard anything.
All right. So Demon Wolf says, question, do you think they're going to extend the event or say a month, or will the 4.3 come out and they'll go to bad to sad? It's still, wait, I'm going to read that again. Come out and they go to bad, so sad it's done. Well, okay, bad English. Basically, are they going to give up on this patch? Really, I've heard things that the patch was designed to be for 2 months, as well. So I don't know. But then again, it's gone so badly. A lot of people have like quit the game en masse. So would you want to keep it going for another month like this? Yeah, I don't know. What's your thoughts on that? That's a tricky one.
I hope it stays long enough that I can finish Crusader.
You've still got like what? You've still got like almost like weeks. 18 days. Like they usually come out around the 20th.
Well, hopefully I've got time to finish it, but time poor does make it difficult, you know. So,
all right, Algared, I'll get Expat to bring her simps along, and we'll help you out. And we'll get the Polaris there, and you've got an army of them. It's just not fair. You got red shirts. You got red shirts. She's got simps. They are way stronger. They will do anything for her.
What can I say?
No, I give a shit about that all the time. She'll get a phone call like, oh, it's a simp. But anyway. Right. What's the next one? I asked a question on YouTube. Yes, you did, Plague Dealer. Pluto Fix. Do you guys...
You should have read ahead.
Oh, I'm good. Pluto Fix. I'm
just giving you the shit you usually give me when I do that.
Pluto Fix. FX. Do you guys still expect to see engineering and base building on the live version this year? I like to take CIG at their word, or try to. They're trying to do that. I think engineering is probably very dependent on a new build drop. They haven't taken a new build drop since the start of the year because they're trying to stabilize it before it kind of comes out. So yeah, I don't know how to take that, and I think that's probably what a lot of the delays are. You know, things are backing up a bit as well. Yeah, I don't know. We'll have to see when it kind of drops, but not every. When's the patch come out where everything's made it? Never, never.
I was looking at the roadmap, and they are still. I believe they're still slated into 1.0. But that's not the next patch. That's 2 patches down, and we know they will. Things in that 1.0 patch will probably be pushed forward if they're not making it. So yeah, I hope so.
Generalistically, though, those ones that you're talking about are just the ones they want to get to before it comes out. So and they've got a long way to go before 1.0.
Yeah, and as you said, they said this is what we want to do. This is what we're aiming for, and I think that's CIG's aim. They hope to get there. They're aiming for that. Will they get there? What roadblocks stop them? For other reasons, anything could come up that does that. But their aim is to, is to reach that point.
It's always this time of year where stuff goes wrong, though. And what I mean by that is like the community just gets restless. I think half the reason why Ship Showdown is put on is just to like alleviate it a little bit. Yeah.
Give us something to bitch about.
Actually, while we're talking about that real quick, you can kind of already see how it's going, by the way. Sorry to ruin your competition, by the way, Lemming. I am thinking of Lemming as I do this. If you go down to Ship Showdown here, I'm showing everyone how to get there so they can see for themselves. When you scroll down here, this is constantly being updated, but if you go to this submit for the win button in here, and then go into the view all, you must do the view all, otherwise it's not accurate, and then change it to monthly top is basically how I would do it, because the competition only started like 3 days ago. So you can very quickly get a sense of what ships are going to be at the top already. There's 3 Raft submissions, a Polaris, an Asgard, an ATLS, the Hornet Mark II, another Polaris, Zeus, Polaris, Gladiator's up there, Raft, Polaris, Gladiator, Polaris, Zeus, Asgard, Raft. And there was a bunch of Idrises, but I think there's another one, an Idris, because the Idris is actually out of contention. They've actually said they're not going to make any more skins for the Idris. So I find that really interesting. Why does the Idris get excluded? Where's my PTV, bitch? That's my whole thing. We need to put it. By the way, if you're at CIG and watching this, where the hell is my PTV skin? You promised us that 3 years ago. I don't have it. In fact, it's been so long, I think you should bring out a post that says, every year we don't do the PTV, you guys get a free PTV skin. So you owe me 3 skins at this point. I feel like I've been had. I don't know about you, Algared, but I feel had. But also lower down. I can go down. I went down for quite a while until I roughly got to 16 ships, and even things like the 85X made it in, stuff like that. Starlance Attack turned up, as you can see. There's the 85X, see, and the Attack. One that surprised me was the F8. Again, is beating the things like the Starlance Attack. That really threw me. I would not expect to see the F8 up as high as I have seen it. So yeah, I don't know. Was that a bit enlightening to you? It was what I was expecting. The top 4, Asgard, Raft, Atlas, and Polaris. That's exactly where I expected them to be.
I think you said the flavors of the month always surface to the top. So yeah, it's not really that exciting. Or
I wonder. You know how these things tend to go, and people get pissed when their thing gets knocked out. I wonder if we're going to see an all Argo finish, or are they going to be absolute bitches and put the Raft up against the Atlas from the get-go?
Probably.
Yeah, I'd be curious to know how they're going to do that, because I actually reckon it might be an all... If they do it properly, I think it might be an all Argo finish. I think it might be Atlas versus Raft at the end. Because of the way things knock out, I think a lot of people, when they see the meme ability of the Atlas, they will vote for it in spite of whatever the other ship is. But the Raft is clearly going to win just based on what you can see there. There was like 4 in the top 5. 3 of those posts were just Raft ones. So I think the Raft is going to take it overall this year. But I think it will probably be an Atlas versus Raft finish.
Now, XM15 on YouTube makes an interesting point in terms of why it makes sense to leave the Idris out. And so they don't think a capital ship should ever be a free fly ship.
That's true. But I don't think
they're mixed on the skin, but that first point.
I think it's because it just shows you how much Ship Showdown is for marketing. Because think about it.
Yep.
If they make a skin, they can only sell a limited number of the Idrises.
Yep.
And that's, I think they need to make that a stipulation, is if the ship is limited, there'll still only be a limited amount of them for sale. So that's always going to make it so certain ships just don't get skins, which is unfortunate. But also, the Idris did get a lot of skins, but I think it really it doesn't, just because it's a bigger ship, it doesn't take as long as you think with Dataforge to make a skin. Like, they can pop those things out pretty quickly. I'd say, I don't know, you know a fair bit about it, but I'd say that most of it comes down to the pattern, not the actual colors or anything like that, because they're all fairly flat colors every year. I am hearing some, there was some other content creators I was talking to during the week, and one of them did say that apparently it's rumored to be the color this year. So take this with a grain of salt, because this person has lied to me before. So big grain of salt. But apparently it's meant to be kind of like the Asgard copper color. Well, it is apparently meant to be the color for AIE this year. But yeah, take that with a massive grain of salt. I'll believe it when I see it, type of thing. But when you think of that color, there's only 2 things I can think of when I think of that color. Do you know, what do you think of when you think of that color?
Well,
what
what
manufacturer?
Orangey copper color, I think of Hurston. And in terms of manufacturer, I think of Argo.
Actually, I didn't think that at all. I actually thought the Banu and the Vandal.
Well, if you're going that really shiny copper, but you've got the Banu Defender, but
yeah, well, it's the same thing. If I think that metallic purple, I thought of attack, and then I think of and obviously it was the Saulian. So I'm wondering, is it an alien-based manufacturer again this year? Because I can't. The only other one I could think of that would possibly go into that domain would possibly be Origin, if they had some kind of really luxurious ship type skin. But it's a really weird, like, again.
Can I chime in?
Oh yeah, go for it. Let me.
Yeah, so I think that if it is that copper, which again, huge grain of salt,
yeah,
I think it's gonna be Anvil, because there's been 2 Anvil ships that use that color, the Liberator and now the Asgard.
Good point, but would they do a whole event around this color of? The other thing is, like, it's like a copper on the Asgard, but it's no, it's more like a rose gold on the Asgard, and it's more like a copper on the Liberator. So yeah, I don't know. I sat there for a while thinking about it, and it's tough. There's nothing that I can say that's concrete about that color, and I think would you guys agree with me on that? It's a tough one. If I said red, you just go, oh, it's Drake, like it's really obvious.
I don't think it's that color, to be completely honest with you. There is absolutely no chance that is in a build anywhere. And that's the only time that I trust leaks like that. But again, that's just my opinion.
Yeah, well, this was them talking directly to a dev. So, yeah, that's why I did stipulate massive grain of salt. Because, again, this person has lied to me before.
So I wanted to pop on to talk about Showdown.
Yeah,
so can you go back to that page that you are on?
I guess. Yeah, this one? Yeah.
Go back one page. Not when you were sorting that page, but back to the Ship Showdown page.
This one? This one? This one here?
One more back.
One more back? There is no more back. That's as far as it goes back.
Oh, okay. Well, then go to the tab that took you here.
The one that says view all?
The one that says pick your ships at the very top. Right next to the tab that you have active.
Oh,
like the browser tab.
You mean this one, right?
Yep. All right. So right there we have categories. Mm-hmm. Okay. So I was trying, because the top 16 ships don't matter. It's those categories that matter. So I was trying to do this in my off time, which there hasn't been much of this week. Mm-hmm. So I was trying to fill out the categories. So that top category is heavy duty.
The Raft. Raft and Atlas fall straight into industrial, so they could both go into the heavy duty category, which put them against each other, like I was saying. And so the Atlas is dead, straight away.
Can you make the screen bigger? I can't read it.
How big it is? Just for you. Just for you. There you go.
Cool. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Yeah. So heavy duty division. I don't think the Raft is in that. I think that ship's like the Vulture
transport.
and the Reclaimer.
Yeah, transporter. Yeah, you're right. You're right. I'm an idiot. Yeah, you're right. Absolutely.
So, of those ships that have gotten votes so far, or ships, because they did say in that post right there that they are heavily weighting how much the ship is being used right now in the verse. So right now, what can you think of 2 industrial ships that are heavily being used?
Reclaimer and Mole, I would say, probably. If I had to think, they're the ones that see a lot. Or Prospector as well.
Yeah, I don't think the Reclaimer, because the Reclaimer just got nerfed bad. So I was thinking Mole, which I think the Mole has been in the top 16 before, but never gotten past like round 1 or 2.
Mm-hmm.
And probably the Fortune?
No way. Nope.
Because it's new?
Nope. Nowhere near.
I have to say, Lemming.
Nowhere near the Prospector and nowhere near the Reclaimer. I never see the Fortune. Never.
Yep. And I have to say, Lemming, that in terms of if you're doing salvage, the Reclaimer is really the only choice.
Yeah.
The Vulture is just too small. You can't. 90% of the stuff that you could salvage off of ships, you can't fit in.
He takes it out solo.
I take it out solo because I can fit stuff in that I can't do otherwise. And I originally wanted to just take the Vulture, but it just
Prospector would definitely be more popular than the Mole too. I see far more Prospectors than I see Moles.
Okay, so let's say that those two are going to be the Reclaimer versus the Prospector.
But they need to
no
be,
idea how that.
They still need to be submissions for them as well. If no one does a spoil.
Yeah.
Well, Citizen John's just gone out. He's going to do the Prospector. I can see that now. Anyway, keep going.
So speed demons racing.
Yeah.
I can't think of any racing ships that are A, getting voted up, or B.
Yeah. I'm going to be honest. So I don't understand why it's a category, to be honest. And I've said this before. I think I can't remember where I said this. It was on I think it was on when I was on Space Tomato the other week, or I've said it before. They literally, the categories should be ship sizes. So you essentially have like Titan suits, ground vehicles, and then every pad size 0 through to 6, and that gives you your 8 categories when you work it out, because 0 is vehicles, and then Titan suits is it because you need an even number, which is 8. So you just Titan suits get their own category, which basically means the Atlas wins this, but they're not going to do that because then it forces them to make another Titan suit. So yeah, but I don't know, maybe you could make an outlier category, so you could essentially have every pad size and then just an outlier.
Well, so the other thing is, you look at the freighter division.
Yeah.
That's looking at your cargo ships.
Yeah.
I'm using an Idris to do these missions or cargo. People are using Polarises to do the cargo missions. So does that fit them into the freighter division? No. They've been used like that.
Yeah. So racing complete wild card. Who knows what's going to go there? On the running gun division, one of those is 100% the players. Maybe the TAC. Maybe the TAC. Because the Star Lancer is getting a lot of people looking at.
Yeah, the other one that runs me a little bit long way is the Alien division. Because,
Gladiator. Yes,
definitely. The Alien division.
Polaris versus Gladiator.
The Alien division is very much like mostly combat ships. There's very few things that fall under that are. You got to remember they're going to be in the game, right? So the Banner Merchantman doesn't count. The Raelian doesn't count. And
the Sulian's a freighter.
Yeah. Well, that's it. The Sulian's the only one that I would even class as any form of cargo, because Banu, Merchantman, the Blade, the Glaive, they're all combat based. And the funny thing is, there's not enough in them in the game to really get their own category. Right, and it's the same thing with speed demons. Like I know there's a lot of people that really like racing, but I think racers would agree, if they could take themselves out of it, there's a lot of people that don't like racing, and therefore it's probably one of the smallest categories. Put it this way, whatever that goes up against will instantly kill whatever that ship is. Pick any other category, the racing one is already dead. So it's not going to get.
So last year,
maybe.
So last year, this was the order.
Yeah.
So it was so round 1 will be industrial versus racing. Industrial will win.
Yep. Didn't they randomize
next round
it?
It's going to be combat.
Wouldn't they?
No, it wasn't. It was straight up.
Okay. So I thought they randomized who they went up against. That's all. Go ahead.
So now we have run and gun. So that's probably going to be Polaris versus Gladiator.
Mm-hmm.
Exploration, based on the thing, is probably going to be Carrick versus ES, which will be a very interesting battle. But in round 2, both of those are going to get crushed by the Polaris or the Gladiator, depending upon if the meme wins or not.
I don't think it's so much a meme either. I actually think that is a genuine, like the whole reason I'm voting for it, right, is because I want every ship in the game to have access to a skin, right? And that, you might call that a meme. I call that being bloody fair. I would actually hope that they are already working on the Gladiator like they did the 890 jump last year. I'd hope that they're doing that just so they can say, look, now every ship in the game has a skin. And the same thing with the 85X. Like, you never see the 85X, but I'm telling you now, if we get the Gladiator through this year, I'll be doing the 85X next year.
That's actually something. I think the 85X is actually classified as a racing ship. So maybe it'll make it into Speed Demons.
Okay, that's it. Okay, I can get behind that then if that's the case.
So again, so both the Pathfinders are going to get crushed in round 2. The freighter Raft is going to take that. It doesn't matter what it's up against. The alien division doesn't matter because it's going to get crushed in round 2 by the Raft.
I was gonna say, do you want to tell people why you are going so in depth on this? You probably should say that because of what you do on the Discord.
Yeah, so I kind of do a March Madness type thing on the Discord, where everybody submits their brackets of what is going to happen during the Ship Showdown. Quite frankly, I got tired of people saying, "Oh my God, it's all rigged. Oh my God, CIG knows who's going to win. Oh my God, this and that, this and that." Almost nobody gets it right. So if you think that you can get it right, get on the Discord and watch out when we get the brackets. I will most certainly be doing the contest again this year.
Just really quickly, this is my Discord. He's added channels like this. This is the channel he's added, a Ship Showdown one, and he's got all this shit going on in, and that's only been there a couple of days. So that's where it'll all take place if you want to go have a look at that on the Discord. I just thought I'd show people that really quickly. I had to add it. Now I'm going to delete it.
I'll make a new channel called Brackets or something like that. So
remove. Go away. Thank you. Right. Yeah, I do think the categories need to be looked at. It's now a weakness to me. They are like no offense to races, but racing and alien are way too narrow. And if you think about it, as this is generally a marketing exercise, I think it would be far better to distribute them based on size than almost anything else. Because much like when the sales come along, you guys would agree, they tend to have a small, medium, large type of thing, right? Where and now even a vehicle, that's what they physically sell. Much like that, well, again, if you made them based on size, then everybody has a chance to essentially get a skin at a ship at a size point where as soon as I know why they're doing it this way, because they want to go, oh, then the racers get a chance to get a skin. No, they don't. All you're doing is giving them false hope because they're never going to get into the top 4. Like, I just don't look, unless you literally had alien versus racers, because then one of them will get through based on the fact that they're the 2 small ones. That's the only way I see that ever happening. And then essentially you're stealing a skin from everybody else, though. That's the other, like the vast number of people. So yeah, and I know it's very hard to set this up to be fair. I do not envy CIG for having to actually set this up. So it's very hard to pick a fair way to do it. But I think I don't know. You guys tell me. Is based on size the worst way to do it, or do you think this is a better way?
I think the size makes sense because size also has a fairly high indication of price, and so if you got them done by size, people with a small ship or a small budget can actually vote for the ships on their pad size. And would I want the capital ships to be in there? No, I'd probably leave those out. But the other ones, yeah.
Yeah, you could literally combine large and capital together. I wouldn't have a problem with that. You know, like limit their category size or whatever. You've got to get to 8 categories for this to work. So that's the hard part. How do you get that to work?
So about that. So if you read this, they actually talk about that if a competition is very close, that there's going to be like a losing bracket. I don't remember exactly what they call it. So I don't know I don't know if they're going to do something different this year. I wish I could find the exact verbiage that they use, but yeah, they say something.
I think the only fair way to do this would literally go all 16 ships get a skin. They made
1000% agree.
They made it into the final 16 because then it takes the I want my ship to get a skin shit out of it. Just it's gone, you know. But also by the same metric, I don't like them doing this thing where people are going to submit all these funky artworks either. I think that's like I get that, but that's not the metric I'd be using to determine the most popular ships in the game. Seems a bit crazy to me. That's like saying, you know, I'm a famous chef. Now go build me a house, and the best person that builds a house wins the best chef of the year. Like it just doesn't add up. It's chalk and cheese. It just doesn't make sense. Yeah.
I can see calls for the mighty penguin, the Titan, to be up.
Yeah. So for the underdog division, I could So it matters where they put the Gladiator. If they put the Gladiator in the run and gun division, I think it's got problems making it through. If they put the Gladiator in the underdog division against the Atlas, that's going to be an interesting competition, and I don't know how that one's going to go.
I
don't think the categories will be exactly the same as last year. I think the categories are a little bit random, as in the ones they pit up against each other.
I think things like the underdog division are your P52, your P72. Now they could go into racing, but I think they're kind of looking at
no, last year
division
what were they last year? Because they were some weird choices. Like one of them was a Pathfinder that should have gone into exploration.
I think if you go to the top, you can click on last year's. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, give me a second.
Nope. They took it out. I could find the bracket from last year.
Yep. Showdown. They use those funky numbers.
I would thought the underdogs were things like the Argo and the snub fighters and things along that line. That's where my mind goes, but doesn't mean it's right. Just
to show you the difference between someone that uses their brain. Notice up here it says Ship Showdown 2024 and it says Ship Showdown 2025. But when I searched for it, I get this funky, stupid number. I'm sorry, but much like CCU over the word upgrades, those numbers don't work for advertising. I know you think it sounds cool, but it's really annoying. It's why I never name. I'm gonna zoom back out for a second.
So if you click on Live Showdown, you'll be able to see the bracket. I think.
No. I've already got it here.
No. Okay.
So the winner was the F8 Lightning, the Spirit, the Terrapin, and the Reclaimer. Got skins, that's right. We go back a bit here. I'm gonna go back to where I can't remember where they. So the Reclaimer beat the Vulture. Neither of those made it in. So they're just out. Oh, so this is as they're going through. So match one, right?
Yep.
2 alien ships, and then neither alien ship won, neither racer won. F8 beat the F7A. The Spirit, well, that sucks for the Ursa. Well, was never going to win that. Terrapin vs 600i. That makes sense to me. Because the 600i has more skins than any other ship in the game. Anytime someone brings up that the Carrack's got shitloads of skin, or the MSR, by the way, the 600i has more than both of them. Reclaimer or Fury, God, like that was going to be a thing. Fullian versus F8, yeah, like that was going to be a thing. And then the final 3 don't matter because they all got skins. Yeah, that's all really kind of predictable in hindsight, I think. You might be onto something there. The ground vehicles, yeah, okay. Yeah. I don't know, I just find they're weird categories again, and as you can see, that they were always the flavor of the month. So again, that's why the Atlas is. Do they classify the Atlas as a ground vehicle too? Lemmings, you think about that?
No. I think I honestly don't think that the Atlas qualifies at all, because I don't think it's a vehicle. I believe it's a suit of armor, which is why you can't CCU to it.
But it spawns at the pads that the ground vehicles do. I would classify as a ground vehicle personally. As well as,
I mean, it also spawns on the cargo elevator.
Yeah, that's my whole point, right? So they can classify it where they want. That's what I'm saying. Because when you looked at the original categories from last year, they and again, it's not what I wanted to come up in the screen. I wanted it to bring up the actual original, like the original brackets like we're looking at right now, so you can see them in their categories. And when you looked at the categories, I remember very distinctly there was a 600i. I'm
gonna send you a picture.
I think it was the Terrapin. The Terrapin wasn't actually listed as a Pathfinder. It was listed in the underdogs. I think that's how it went. I could be wrong, but I think that's how it was.
Yes, I believe so.
So the 890 jump and the 890 jump and the 600i were actually listed as explorers, though the Terrapin was the most Like, I know you can technically list the 600i as an explorer, but if you had a Terrapin over those two, I would say the Terrapin's the explorer, not these two. Personally, I don't know if you agree with that, Algared, but I think it was just a way for them to fit those ships into those categories to get what we'd voted for.
the 890 and the 600 are luxury ships, and yes, they can both be put into the Explorer category. But if you're looking at Explorers, it's the Carrack / Terrapin of the two that would trump it, in my opinion.
Yeah. So my point being is, I think they shoehorned a few in last year, and that's what I'm trying to say. This
just so
year,
that you know, Execute.
Yeah.
You are right. Last year, so if you go to the very top of that page and click on a community call, we're right next to
live showdown.
and if you click on that, it shows it from last year. So the categories are not in order.
Here we go. Yeah, there you go. You sure?
So I was wrong.
That's okay.
And now click on live showdown, and then you can see the bracket.
That's the one I want to look at. Yeah. Here we go. This is what I wanted. Yeah, that's a much better way of doing it. Yeah, so you can see how it panned out. Yeah, and where was it? Pathfinder. See, 890 jump 600i, and then you got where was the Terrapin? Terrapin is down.
It was the underdog one.
Is in underdog, and it didn't make sense to me. I was just like, that feels so shoehorned. You've essentially shoehorned this into underdog, because if you'd put one of these two as underdog, people would have had your head. But the thing is, though, that's a way more of an Explorer than these two are by a country mile.
Anyway. I think that that the underdog category is the memes.
So what I'm trying to get at, though, right, is like when we're talking about the Atlas, like there's essentially 2 to 3 categories that can go in. Does it go into freight? Does it go into ground vehicles? Does it go into industry? Right? You could technically see it being in all 3 of those. So what I'm trying to get at is, I guarantee you some are going to be shoehorned again this year. Guarantee it. To make them come out. But yeah. I've never seen it done perfectly in a way that I've ever been truly happy with. It always feels like, and that's why I keep coming back to the sizes, the pad sizes one, because that seems the most fairest. But then Algared does have a point in that the bigger you go, it's got the same problem with there being less of them. Like, for example, if you take capitals right now, it's essentially Polaris, Idris,
Polaris.
Yeah, there's not many of them. There's this like
Reclaimer.
Yeah, there's like 5 or 6 of them, so it becomes a very small category. And even then, when you kind of max them out that to the entire life of the game, there'll always be less capitals than there are. And do those people really need a free skin? No, they don't. They've already spent lots of money.
I would argue, because they've spent lots of money, they're just a free skin, but
you get my point.
I would argue that having those the really big multi-crew ships being there, just because they go free fly when they win, I'd be arguing, don't make them free fly. Just don't put the really big ships in.
Did you
really big crew count ships in? I don't know. Maybe I'm just being pedantic.
Did you see the video they did on Twitter, Algared, of the Ship Showdown?
No.
Did either of you catch that? I think hang on. Got it here somewhere.
No,
not being a fan of social media, I tend to avoid.
Here it is. Hang on, I'll play it for you. It goes for 3 minutes, but it is worth watching. I do believe sound will work. Chat, let me know if you can't hear it real quick.
So, what is Ship Showdown? Ship Showdown is a contest where the players vote for their favorite spaceships.
The community's favorite vehicles are pit against each other.
It's a knockout-style tournament.
Players get to have a big fight over which ship they think's the best. They do it anyway, but this time it's official.
Where you, the community, get to tell everyone who your favorite vehicle team is.
It's us, right?
Yeah.
Prepare for some shockers, by the way.
Most about Ship Showdown is everyone has like their campaign for their ship. People can get quite creative.
People have like crocheted ships.
The song that was made last year for the Pisces was always a big hit, and I spent way too long listening to it over.
They crochet a ship
and over
I didn't know how to crochet like a square and all that. Someone had taken foam and carved out a cutter and like refactored a drone. I think it's just really great to like see things that the community makes, and it was just flying around at like dog walkers and all that.
Whoever did that, well done.
Yeah, well,
If we're going memories for Ship Showdown, my favorite one was with the MPV, the Mumpov. I was just like, I love this community. They're making the Mumpov win. The community this year will probably vote for Starlancer.
Really cool. Got a lot of guns.
I really like that one.
You say that because you
Oh,
work
no.
on it.
It's massive. You can do a bunch of stuff with it. And it's almost one of the best looking ships we have. And
Alright, it's
Alberto's
max
next to me,
volume.
and I don't want him to hate me.
Vote for Starlancer.
The cutter is like the actual like vehicle team's favorite ship. I'm pretty sure.
Oh, the sound's filtered. Hang on.
Kind of feeling like
Yeah.
It's the sound
a little
filter.
bit of everything.
Held together with duct tape.
Yeah, exactly.
Give me a second, guys. I will try to fix this. Hang on. It's that sound filter. It's been so long since I turned this off. No, there's no filter in it. There's no filter on it. Turn that off. I don't know why I can't hear it. Sorry.
The cutter. It's the only ship that's 100% built on vibes.
I want my little guy to win.
The golem.
Yeah.
We're the Emperor Asgard because I worked on it.
I would say Archimedes.
Archimedes, that's a good one.
Yeah,
I like
yeah.
that.
My favorite is the Peregrine. Because she's sick.
Yeah, he did say Peregrine. What the fuck?
For me, I like RSI Scorpius.
Oh,
No one will vote for the MTC, and it hurts me deeply.
Well, what I want to see win is the Crusader Intrepid. I think it was kind of like the little ship that could.
But it's not the Anvil Gladiator. It's a good ship.
Okay.
Man of the people.
I'm sure you're being serious.
No, I'm being serious. Always serious.
Okay.
Vote Firebird, best ship.
So there you have it. Ship Showdown 2955 kicks off across social media on July 29th, and we want you to get involved. Org your org, rep your ride, and submit your favorite ship using the hashtag Ship Showdown. The vehicles with the most love move on to Phase 2, and the ultimate winner will be crowned on September 2nd. So get out there and make your voice heard. Anyone can win, except the Rock DS. Try to use that.
Yeah, so I think the contender for next year is the Rock DS. What do you think?
I'm glad to see that John was back in the Gladiator.
Yeah. Yeah. I knew you'd like that. That's why I showed the whole video.
Yeah.
Just for that
I'm
little
thinking-
segment. Yeah.
Yep.
There was a
Yep.
filter on, by the way. Apologize. I have it on Algared and so it minimize background noise, but when it plays through, it also plays through where Algared talks through. So that's why it was a bit filtered. So I apologize for that. But what I will do to make up for that is I will link. I will share that post. Hey, quiet. Don't play again. In both YouTube and Twitch, so you can look at it for yourself on.
There you go.
Twitter.
Rabbit's reasoning for making the Gladiator win is so we can make John Cruise smile.
Yeah.
Well, if the Gladiator wins, could that mean we would get the variants or the modules for the Gladiator?
I think it just shows you how self-aware he is. He knows that people are going to vote for it because it doesn't have a skin. And I think that's 100% what it is. Just like, yeah, I'll just pick what everyone else is doing. Yeah. But that guy that picked the Peregrine has to 100% be a guy that worked on the Peregrine. Like, that is the most out left of field pick of the entire video.
It's the same as the no one will vote for the MTC, and it deeply hurts me.
I think the MTC will get voted because of the categories. The ground vehicle category.
Yeah, it will.
But the guy who said that is the guy who I think designed it. Because he was deeply hurt, but he didn't think no one will vote for it.
Oh, I think you'll be surprised. I think it'll make the top 16. I'm trying to think what other vehicles, like again, unless it's up against the Atlas.
The Nursa. The Nursa will.
You're gonna Nurse will get in again.
Yeah,
I'll give you that. I'll give you that. Possibly. I'm just trying to think of anything else.
And Diddley Smollett said, Digby Smollett said, no one wants the Rock DS to win, not even the memers.
I actually think that once all the skins are done, I think let's just go back to memes, because it'd be funny.
And once we know the Rock DS is going to get a refit,
but
when they do the refit, it may not be as bad as it is at present.
But the other thing is, we know how annoyed the marketing people got when we did the MPUV thing.
Oh yeah.
Message loud and clear. Like, let's send another message if we want to do that again.
Until they saw, it's selling lots. Ooh, we're making lots of money. Ooh, yeah.
So I put the quote in Twitch chat. I don't have YouTube up right now, so if you want to read what they said and then the post there.
Yeah, I'll post it on YouTube for you as well. If it'll let me, yes, it will. Yeah, done. I've done that for you. Let's open. Shit. Wait, hang on. I gotta post it into a. Come on, where'd you go? There you are, and bang, and then I can bring this over here. Loading, and what are we looking at? Okay.
So I quoted it up above there, like right above my link, but I wanted to show where I got that information from.
Yeah. So this is from the post about.
It starts with O.
What? Sorry, what starts with O?
It's right at the.
Right underneath all those emojis or categories.
No, up just.
I don't know what you're talking about.
A little bit more.
Describe it differently. I don't know what you're looking for.
In Twitch, just before he put his link,
you've
got the quote. That's going to be easier for you.
And remember how we said you hold the power to decide the outcome. We're not getting every voice counts, and especially when things get close. If a division ends in a razor-thin result, that's when the wild card kicks in. We're handling the decision over to you. Cast your vote from a wild card pool to determine which ship and onwards. Okay. So yeah, that generally means it's
so that's completely new.
Yeah, that is new. That's really, really new. I do like how they made little icons too. Okay.
Anyway, that's what I wanted to say about Showdown. I can't stay, but have a good stream.
All right. Hey, mate. Thanks
Enjoy.
for
Take care.
Bye.
All right. Moving on with questions.
Yep.
We're up to Tomo 86, by the way.
We are? The next one, mine. Oh, yeah, there we go. Execute. How far has your hairline receded with wearing that cap all the time? I don't wear this cap all the time. Algared will tell you this. I actually usually wear this.
Just wear the hoodie.
Like this, without the hat and the headphones. That's actually the way you'll see me most of the time. I only really the hat when I go outside or when I'm doing the show. That's it, basically.
Yep. And the main reason he wears the hat when he's doing the show is the lights are blinding.
Yeah, they really hurt. I'm actually considering buying new ones, to be honest with you. They're that bad, but yeah.
Because after 3 or 4 hours, it really does get to the eyes.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. I actually looked up, these lights have an issue where a lot of people, when they first came out, said they were too bright, and they are. They're just too bright.
I've got them pretty low.
They're on 1%. You can't go any lower. I'm actually been looking at a way to put like a film or something on them to just make them less bright. I'd like to be able to actually like turn them up to like 10% or something like that. But yeah, they don't go to 0. Is their main problem.
Yeah.
Tommy Teach says, question. I know there are plenty of legacy ships that haven't got a best in show skin yet, but out of the new ships we've gotten from the past 12 months of onboarding tasks, which would, if it's only in the last 12 months, it'll be the Golem. Yeah, for sure. It was the best ship of the last 12 months.
Yeah, based on the brand new ships that we've seen, I think probably that are in game at the moment. I think it's Golem.
And this vote is often around the time where a lot of the regular people are not around. So you notice how the Golem wasn't in any of those ships I showed, but the Polaris appeared multiple times because it's the hardcore audience that vote for this stuff, not the regulars. Again, you know, the hardcore people are the people that buy the Polarises and not the Golems. So again, if you wanted to actually do this properly, you really need to have the vote when a lot of the normies are around.
Actually, Bowler makes the point, and this is one I'm surprised you didn't pick up. the Intrepid is a ship in the last 12 months.
Yeah, wasn't very well received though.
Okay, what's the one you like? Wasn't it the Intrepid?
No.
Which is one you like flying?
I fly the Intrepid, right? I do fly the Intrepid. I use it for the event, but I normally fly the Spirit more than probably any other ship in the game right now. Yeah, it's my A to B vehicle most of the time. But the Spirit, the other thing I was talking about this with Expat last night, right? I buy all the starter ships, right? Because they're really great to show new people. Right, so I've got a Saulian, I've got an Intrepid, I've got a Cutter, like all those type of things, right? But I actually think now you guys can try to think about this as content creators, and I know you're probably going to agree with it. You know how they give us a lot of ships to give away. I think they should give loaners. I don't know how to put it. That you don't get to keep them, right? So when the game comes out, they're all removed. But I think they should give content creators like every starter ship in the game, and I mean just the base level. So like not an Avenger, not a 300i. I'm talking like 100i, Cutter, Aurora, Mustang. You know, the ones at the bottom. You know, like a Saulian, whatever the bottom manufacturer one is, right? And they can
the ones you expect people to buy to get into game.
Exactly. Right, and they can, because that they can go, well, here you go, you could go buy this one. Oh no, I don't like that. Well, here, try this one. And it actually encourages every content creator to help other people get into the game. And the other thing is, like, it also means, like, for example, Algared, if you had it, right, someone you know goes, oh, I know someone that's got every starter in the game because I'm friends with this content creator. So they would come to you to get you to show people as well.
How's this one then? Why not? Why worry about content creators? Why not just say to every person who's concierge? And I'm picking that. You could even say anyone who's already playing.
Actually, that's not a bad
every starter ship.
That's not a bad idea, actually.
Online, because you don't. Even though you're a content creator, Joe Blow is inviting his friend to play.
Yeah,
but what ship should I buy?
But the other thing is, like, they're not going to do that because they're going to say there's a loss of revenue. That's too much. I'll give you the concierge. I could actually see that, like going, or even a part of the referral bundle. If you get to a certain amount of referrals, you get a starter ship introductory bundle, and you don't get to keep those ships. You just get to show it so you can show other people.
If they're just on loan, then you're not losing money. And if you're using it to show, if people are using them to show their friends or to loan people and let them drive, then and the people who you're giving the ships to, you're not giving them to the free fly people. You're only giving it to people who are already playing the game. Then
even if it was just like 5 of them and they cycled, that would be enough, you know. And it, like the 5 latest new ones or something like that, and it just every time a new one comes out, the last old one drops off. I could get behind that.
Because then it's encouraging everyone, and it's encouraging referrals. Because hey, try this. Come and try the game. I've got a loan ship you can try. I can show you. And then they go, oh yeah, I like that. And then
I'm just reading what Bola said there. Bola, you said what makes sad is how dirty they did the Pisces after MM. MM. What does he mean by MM? Am I missing something there? Bola,
I don't know.
Give me the context of what you mean by MM. I'm trying to think of what he means by MM.
My mind goes merchantman.
Yeah, I'm going, what do you mean merchantman? It's got nothing to do with the Pisces. That's exactly where my brain went too. So fill that up, please, Bola, so I can stop thinking about it. George Smith says, question, does it make
master modes?
Master modes. I don't know, I don't think it really, anyway. Does it make more sense for CIG to announce they release date of Squadron at Gamescom rather than CitizenCon? I don't think they're going to give us a date yet. I think you tell me what you think, Algared, and again, guys, let us know in chat too. But I think that probably we're only going to hear about that like 6 months out.
Yeah, we know they're aiming for next year. And we know.
I'm hearing some things like hell or high water. The things I've been hearing lately. So yeah.
Look, I've got an impression, and you look at the. I was looking at the roadmap, and they're polishing. You know, there's got I think 4 teams on on the chapters for Squadron, and they're all polishing.
Yeah, I can bring that up. Hold on. Yeah, keep going.
So yeah, I think they're bug fixing, they're polishing. I did notice there was a new creature in the roadmap as well that's unannounced, but for Squadron.
Oh, really?
Squadron/42. There was a new creature. I can't remember where, but
can I type in creature here and it'll come up or not?
I don't know. I was just going down and clicking on the things, and one of them was a creature and a ship, but both redacted. It just said new creature and something else.
Well,
which I thought,
but you can't tell me which one it was under.
No, because I was just
useless
clicking it.
Why do I keep you around? No.
It was up near the top. It was one of the first ones I looked at. And I thought, that's interesting.
Character and art tech. Redacted creature. Bang. Right on. Well, okay, man. It was the first one.
There you go.
But that doesn't have a window, so it's probably...
No. If you click on the animal, it might.
Deliverable view. 18 weeks. I think that might already be done, Algared. And that actually says Star Citizen, not Squadron.
Yeah. They do say Star Citizen / Squadron, but
that's must be an older one that they've already completed.
But then further down, they were talking about the teams working on things and the Squadron stuff. So Team A, Team 1, Team 0, Team 1, Team 2, Team 3, I think Team 4. But when you looked at it, they were just polishing.
It's kind of a weird view because the only one that's got any look, they're all empty. Every single one of them is empty except 45 deliverables for core gameplay pillar for Squadron and SC. So yeah, it's all hands on deck on Squadron. That's crazy. Crazy. You got a little one here for FPS radar and scanning. I did hear some things about I can't remember where I heard that, but someone was talking about porting over the radar and scanning from Squadron to Star Citizen eventually. Crafting, so this is your base building stuff, obviously, because it's Star Citizen only. There you go. Base building as well. And look where they're finishing, right about CitizenCon end of the year. So
which makes sense.
Yeah.
And that's the goal.
Yeah, all hands on deck. Yeah.
It's nothing different from what we've said, like in terms of even if it's stuff for Squadron or stuff for Star Citizen, well, stuff for the PU. Stuff I announced the last year at CitizenCon, but their goal, their hope, their aim is to get it this year. Doesn't mean they'll do that, but that's their goal. That's what they're aiming for.
I think you'll probably hear about it at CitizenCon, but you won't get it to the end of the year. Again, looking where that's landing is the start of November. That's after CitizenCon, but before AIE. It's kind of been very... How do I put this? And don't take this the wrong way if anyone's at Sergio, but it has been kind of very lackluster because you can tell it's down, bums up type of thing this year. So, like, just watching what they're coming out with there, I'd expect that 2-hour CitizenCon thing is more about what we're about to get when it drops.
All right, I get the impression they're fairly busy just from the context I have, but yeah.
All right. Excuse me. Not enough sleep. Call Me Teach says, I sent a question. Yes, did we read that already? Truther says, is 4.3 dropping today? Well, let's have a look. I can pull that up real quick. The RSO launcher on my end. They were wanting to go to Evo this week. There is no Evo on my launcher, so no, it has not dropped as of yet. But that doesn't mean technically it's after midnight in the UK though. But that doesn't mean that it doesn't drop because they have had them drop a couple hours afterwards as well. Rabbit says, think a freight elevator with a conveyor belt that splits boxes out would work. Freight elevator that splits boxes out would work. You'd have to have a kind of conveyor belt that's outside once they've spat out that you can pick them off. That would not be too bad for a different tech area, Algared, if you think about it. Like if you had cargo lifts at one area and then a lower tech area, it's just more like a pickup.
Like an airport bag terminal.
Yeah, I was thinking
so
more.
Not picked up, they go back in, so they're not just dumping on the floor and making a big pile.
There's a couple of ways you could do it, but I was thinking more like a line because that's lower tech. Because if you take one box out, the line just fills itself up. Where if you've got the conveyor belt going around and around and around, you have to have the programming to get it to land in the gap, and that's a lot more problematic. I'm gonna be honest with you. A lot more that can go wrong, because then if the box lands in the wrong place, the physics kick in and it. Yeah. Alice Cyclone says, "Are you guys still finding issues with crash to desktop? If so, anything specific that seems to trigger them?" I haven't had any, but I've met 2 or 3 people during this patch that have. And I think it's more, how do I put this? It seems to be more personally linked to that person's hardware, not so much the game as much. Like I've heard one guy got a blue screen, and another couple of people have got crashes to desktop. It's not always the game's fault, as in obviously the game makes the issue, but what I'm saying is it's the other part of every equation is our own hardware. But yeah, I don't know. Algared, have you had any crashes?
I have had a couple. I was playing last week. I managed to get several hours in last week. And I think in that time I had one crash to desktop and one freeze.
What were you doing?
The beautiful thing was I was just doing a cargo mission.
Okay.
Just the missions. And the nice thing was, though, when I came back, I was still where I was.
Yep.
So it wasn't like it used to be, so...
Yeah, I've had that come back to where I was quite a few times, which is good. You can actually use it as a feature now. If you just hold F4, you'll come back to where you were. Yeah.
I did have one where I was coming back to Hurston in the Idris, and the Idris had gone into the, that zone where they steal your ship. Well, they didn't reclaim my ship. They left it floating in space and teleported me down to the planet. Unfortunately, I'd set my my spawn point on the Idris, and I was thinking, how am I going to get there? Backspace.
Teleportation 101. Yeah, when you can afford to print your own body for free. No.
That's right. I used the teleporter in my hangar. Yeah.
Right. Radium TX says, this is an interesting one. I don't know how I'm going to answer this. If you had, in capital letters, to implement one new feature into the game, but it would be implemented in a completely broken state, aka realistic, what feature would it be and why? Knowing it was going in, even though knowing it would be broken, but that's almost every feature we've ever had. Tough one, isn't it?
To go scanning.
Yeah, I think scanning is such a big part of the game. When you really sit there and analyze it, it becomes scary really damn quickly, like how many things are relying on. And me and Algared have talked about it for years now, but it is the last bit of real core gameplay, so we can kick off that initial little triangle. And I think after that, there'll be a lot more that picks the game up.
Yeah.
So yeah.
George Smith, thank you for that $5 super chat. He says, thank you for our content. Been watching us for 7 years. You poor thing.
That's almost as long as the channels existed too, yeah.
Yeah, and he says, well, I think we've been doing it for close to 8 ourselves, haven't we?
There's a couple of milestones that we don't talk about. Like, we're rapidly approaching 1,000 videos now.
But he does say the first episode that he recalls is, I think the first episode was the Vulcan preview.
That's 7 years ago.
And that's about 7 years ago, but he started, and that's not the first episode on Inforunners.
No. That's I can't remember what that would be. Well, again, even if you kind of look at it from a Dyson and Dace perspective, that started the channel, they only made it to about 75.
Yeah.
And we've outshone that 7 or 8 fold at this point.
We're just insane. That's what it is. But yeah, in terms of the scanning, though, I think that the scanning is, like, at the moment it's broken anyway. So you add the system in that adds another component that works, or adds that, even if half a dozen things aren't working the way you want. That's a bonus. but so much gameplay does end up being related to scanning. But that has to be the one I'd probably lean towards. So yeah.
No, I actually ironically agree with you. It's just such a big feature. I know we carried on about the star map for a few years, but I think the scanning ironically needs the star map. It's all got to kind of come in order. Scanning is, think about every gameplay in the game, it needs scanning. I can't think of a single one that doesn't. You're in combat, you got to do a ping. You know, you're doing agriculture, you've got to scan to see what the soil is like. You know,
see what bugs are attacking your plants, or
all that
nitrogen, things you need to add.
Bounty hunting, scanning for a target. You know, finding out what, you know, doing the investigation, like where did their footprints go or whatever like that. Like you go through every single one, and I cannot think of a single one that doesn't require scanning.
Every activity you do can have some aspect of scanning. Even navigating a new building network needs some form of scanning.
Well, even if you kind of think about it from a really basic level, you go to a hot planet and you got your helmet on. How is it detecting that? Well, technically it's a scan.
Yeah.
You go to a cold planet, it's freezing. Technically it's a scan. You know, it's kind of crazy to me. Just like, I know we talk about cargo being big as well, but I think scanning's even bigger than it. Yeah. Really,
no, can't disagree with that.
Really, really looking forward to scanning. It's going to change the game in ways that we just can't tell yet. Right. Bowler says, question, when do you think that we will get a solar flares back in Pyro? Apparently it's a technical issue. I remember talking to someone at CitizenCon, and they said it was a technical issue that why they can't do that yet. So I can't give you a date, but let's be honest, it's not a high priority if you think about it.
On the roadmap, I think it's set for where you do the cards. I think it's set for 1.0.
Yeah, I assume it would be before that because the system's in the game. Yeah, I'd give you that. Citizen John or John Priest says, question, what is happening tonight? Man, you're slow on the upkeep, John. We're taking questions as we always do, but that's fine. Hope you're doing well. He's probably in bed by now because it's after midnight now. So yeah, we'll see.
But he knows what we're doing every night. Every night we're you know,
it's stirring is what we're doing.
Shooting a Shiola and answering questions and driving each other nuts at times. Yeah.
True. Mackie Mas says, when do you guys think that there will be a proper emergency gameplay, like finding a random hostile caravan of NPCs with loot wandering across a moon? When do you guys
Emergent gameplay?
Yeah.
Not emergency gameplay, but yeah.
Emergent. Oh, he did say emergent, my bad. I think there's a lot more systems that come into play there. Because you've got to have quantum to kind of have the simulation running to kind of have that in. We don't have that quantum connection yet. And also I think that would probably come in with the economy would be the first step I think would see for quantum.
Yep.
Then
you'd also need the navigation for the NPCs to be able to go from point A to point B.
Yep, I agree 100%. That was going to be the next thing I was going to say, but you beat me to it. But yeah, they're the two big ones, and they're still a while off. You know, I think the first kind of thing we're kind of going to see outside people that have just been walking around inside city zones, their really simple navigation will be the drones that we see. So, yeah. Oh my God. Tomo, you cannot carry on about people's accent when I can't even understand what you're saying. What do they call that? The pot calling the kettle black. Yeah, people in glass houses should not throw stones. But anyway, apparently
they can.
You know how when we say June, right?
Yep.
And people think we're saying the month. That's an accent thing. Apparently, the way I say Sulian and Raelian, you know how you like Newcastle. There are different way people pronounce words, but people are telling me, "Oh shit, Loken raided with 230 people. Holy shit, that's a lot of people."
Thank you, Loken, for
Good to
that
see you,
lovely
buddy.
raid.
Hope you went well with your. He was been doing cargo box as well, catching up as well. So he got a lot of those done with his drop.
Hope you got them done.
Yeah, thanks, Logan. I hope you're doing well, man. Feel free to jump in if you want to join us for 5 minutes, but they never ever do. They raid
nice
and
to say hi.
They raid and leave.
The raid and go. Yep, raid and go.
Don't blame them. They're sick of us. It's fine.
One day he'll take us up on that, and we'll go. Oh.
Yeah. That's all good. Well, again, as I said, it is after midnight for him, so it's currently rapidly approaching one for them. Cognitive pronunciation of words is wrong. Execute. Oh, okay, maybe I do pronounce it wrong. I don't care. Look, I have this argument with my mum, right? She's an English teacher. Was, and I keep telling her that words are tools. If you understand what I'm saying, though I get it wrong, who gives a shit? I've still communicated my point across. If you're just going to sit there and be pedantic about it, that's on you. Well, it's like when you and I correct each other. Like I'll say gladius, but I meant gladiator. You still knew what I meant, but but we will correct each other not for us. We do it for the audience. That's different, right? And I expect you to do that, as I know you expect me to do it for you. But by the same token, you and I know each other so well. That's why we say, "Oh, you meant," and that's exactly what it is, because it's a tool. It's got nothing to do with what we're actually saying.
When it's pronunciation, that's a different thing. Pronunciation is a false thing anyway. It's basically dialects.
Yeah, that's what it is.
A different dialect will come up with different pronunciation for words, and languages are constantly evolving and changing. And if a language isn't constantly evolving and changing, then it becomes a dead language because people stop using it.
Apparently, it makes Tomo really scared. Says it grinds
grinds
my fears. I tell you, yeah, he gets really scared.
It can grind your fears all you like.
Grind your fears, bro. Grind your fears into dust.
We're doing that just for you, Pete. Yeah. If you're around,
it's not Pete.
Grind your fears.
Tomo, he's a step down from. He's the cheap version of his. He'll love that. He'll love that. It's probably high praise for him. But anyway. Right. Oddball says, question, do you think that making the new Onyx location PvP instead of the promised PvE and then throwing in new ASLD armor into gains getting too much to the PvP crowd? I think they're doing whatever is easiest at this point. Again, if I've still got it up, going back to this, that clearly tells me it's all hands on deck. That, like, hey, tell me, when's the last time you saw cards where they're all in one card? I've never seen that. Never. Never, ever. That clearly tells me it's all hands on deck.
Thank you, Q-Pan, for the compliment on the tie.
What's so special about that? It's just the same tie he wears every day. What are you talking about? He's only got two ties, isn't it? You got a red one and a blue one. That's it.
No, that might be Paul.
Oh, you've just got blue ones. You don't even have red ones. Wow. Okay. Right.
I've got red, blue, black, green. I never wear the green ones because I'm
gonna be real honest. I never noticed. Yeah, actually, that Hawaiian shirt that you always put on at summertime always gives me a chuckle. He puts the green on and he's like, "Oh shit, I gotta change my shirt." That's what you do it with green screens, obviously. So, like, I'm the same.
Shirt that's not green and it comes up green. It's like you.
What's that one that I wear? The Batman one. I've got a yellow Batman one. If I wear that, it actually, with the green around here, it goes green enough that the Batman logo goes invisible. But you only see it when I stand up. So yeah. Right. I don't know. I've never got the thing about complimenting ties, but I guess I'm weird. Socially Confused says, are too many ship items being solely on Wicklow? Wicklow seems like a bottleneck. Yeah, it does feel like a bottleneck. And I don't know, you tell me this, Algared, right? But I think what Wicklow is they know people have too much money. So to make them earn it, they're going to earn another currency to earn it.
Yeah, look, I think part of it was to give people who don't have those ships the ability to earn them in game.
Yes, but why isn't it just for money? That's my point. Yeah. They're making it another currency because there's people that have shitloads of currency actually go and earn it, which I think is kind of a bit wrong. It shows that they haven't fixed their own economy.
I think it just takes the fact that you'd normally be gathering, the the bits and pieces. So instead of taking 50 billion, teeth and fur hides and tongues or wings or whatever you could gather for the bits and pieces, you trade them in for the cash, and you just got one of a bit. So yeah, it's like the scripts from the different guilds, and I think we'll see as time goes on. We'll not only see the UEE stuff, but we'll also see stuff from the guilds and stuff from the Banu and the Tabaran and gosh knows what else.
I think the thing with Wicklow too is it's a lot of the content is just out of reach of normal people. Or it also to give an example, if you're not doing org stuff, you have to wait till the orgs move out of the way before you get so you got to wait a whole month or so before you can even get a thought of getting in there. And they always seem to be updating it so it takes the new stuff, not the stuff from before. So it's just this constant moving goalposts, which is annoying. And they keep chucking new ships in there, but they don't seem to be putting the normal versions in the store. They were putting the normal versions in for money and then special versions of Wicklow.
Yeah.
We wouldn't be having this conversation.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's no excuse to put it in the game with special shit on it, not put it in the store as a default normal version.
Yeah, I kind of agree with that. Like, but yeah. And you know, as a raider, as Cube Hand says, making the Golem the only anvil ship that's available for Wicklow.
Yep.
No, it's an industry ship.
Yep. But again,
that's what makes sense.
He's absolutely right. Why isn't it available in a store? It's been what, almost 6 months. It came out before Invictus.
Sorry, I misread his comment. I was reading it as the only anvil ship available in Wicklow, not the only anvil ship that's only available.
I'm really confused because Golem's Drake.
It is.
Oh, you read it as anvil, not available, right? Okay, yeah. Okay, now I'm
but
right.
But also the only ship that's available for Wicklow, not.
Yeah.
So I was reading the only anvil ship available through Wicklow, not the only ship that's only available through Wicklow.
As a teacher, Algared, I think it's really important you learn to read.
No, it's just reading what you expect.
It's very small. It's very small for you, I know.
Good readers always read ahead, and one of the problems for good readers is they read what they expect to see, not what is actually there. And so correcting yourself is always something you should do.
Okay.
There you go.
Easy the Goon says, is this mystery ship you talked about on Grimm's channel a small, medium, or large? I guess I can talk about that a little bit. It will be out next week, but no, it's a very large ship. It would be akin to an ironclad. I'll leave it at that.
And that's all you're always allowed to say, because
Algared won't let me say anymore. I've been told I'm not allowed to. But yeah,
I did.
Yeah.
I told him don't talk about it because it's one of the episodes we do intend to try and do.
Yeah.
In the next week or two.
We'll definitely do that this weekend. It's probably not the best time to release it from a viewing perspective because it's a lull. But it's one of those things where Algared and I have I connected the dots, and then I brought it to Algared and I brought it to Grimm. And then obviously I showed it to John too, because me and John recorded an episode. We did 2 episodes pretty much back to back or one day apart, and then I released the Meteor one first. But I'm kind of glad I did, because then I found more evidence that backs up what I'm saying and more proof that this thing is real. And so me and Algared are going to do it again and put that in. But yeah, I'll leave it at that. I think it. Yeah. So for those that know what I'm talking about, I've found a ship that's been hiding in plain sight, essentially. And I'll leave it there. But we'll talk about it this week in this week's episode. Right. Callus Cyclone says, on the BIS fan art, so Best in Show fan art, Polaris was shown with a main battery cannon in place of the chin turret. Given the Idris got torps out of nowhere, is it an outlandish for them to do this for the poly? I kind of agree with Grimm. The bigger a ship goes up, so right up at the top end, how you've got the Javelin, the Kraken, and the Idris, and they get multiple kits. I think when you go down to like Polaris, maybe Hammerhead, maybe Perseus, so maybe the Polaris gets 2 kits, and then you go down to the the Perseus that they get one additional kit. I just think that'd be kind of cool. And again, it does give some flexibility and progression to those ships. I think, especially when you're dealing with an org, you need to have you need something for that org to work towards. And those bigger ships, let's be honest, you move Perseus. I could, with 4 people, I can see that kind of pulls it out of the org. But a Polaris is definitely an org level ship. You'd agree on that, wouldn't you?
The fact that you've got how many turrets on the Polaris?
Yeah, so
half a dozen turrets at least, plus 4 remote turrets.
Yeah. So you see what I mean about progression, yeah? It needs something for them to work towards. Like, and again, like I start thinking of little things like, can I upgrade my PDCs to the ones like the Idris has got, like the missile firing ones, stuff like that? Can I? What are the other things? Like, we know more torpedoes are coming. We know. What are the facilities that I can add that enhance that ship? Can I? You know what I mean? Like. Yeah,
and for an org, and for an org that's got, say, multiple Idrises, having the ability to equip the Idrises for different roles and then take them out. So you've got a heavy torpedo bomber, a beam weapon attack, a railgun. It gives that org greater, I suppose, projection of ability, because they can pull different things into different roles. So. I don't see a problem with it.
Yeah.
But I think, like you, I think the bigger the ship is, the more kits I'd like to see.
Yeah. Rather than
and
this
going down, get less.
Yeah, like rather than these artificial variants type thing where you spread them out and you make more money, shouldn't you be making more gameplay for the gamer? I can understand variants at the low end, but up at the top, I think you're better off to go into progression. Like much like we said before with the Kraken, when that comes out, I'd be really surprised. Like, we know we've got the privateer, but I'd be really surprised if there's not 1 or 2 more kits for that too when that lands. Especially now knowing it's going to a reconcepting, that would be the time to add another one. Yeah. And again, you could almost say on the day it comes out, whatever it is, you can buy the new one outright. You can just buy the new one outright. Or you can buy kits if you've got the old one.
Yeah, and we're not sure. We know it's going for a reconcept, so we know it's going to have changes to the ships that are there. But I could see a third variant. I'm not sure how you do it, but yeah.
Well, me and Grim talked through this. Like, how I talked about how you could almost take out like specters or salvage on it.
Yeah.
Essentially, if you put a refinery on the Kraken,
then it becomes a real support for the refinery, for the miners or salvages, and then strike. Since we know that the I think I heard that the Starfire's refinery is only ever going to do fuel.
Yeah, I did link that to you recently. I remember that now.
Maybe that's where I saw it.
Yeah, I did link it. Well, again, you and I always linking shit to each other, but I specifically saw that in a video and I went, oh shit. Link.
But if that's the case, then you could see, you put a kit that gives you a refinery for gas. So you've got your mining, now doing fuel. If you're doing one that does rocks, that's now doing the mining. If you do one that does salvage, so you could see you could have different kits, even just having different refineries. You change the role of the ship that's doing that. So that'd be I could see that type of thing happening for it.
Be cool if you can mix and match too, because if you can also have the refinery plus a shop, you can then sell, like when you can have random miners and salvagers come in and sell their shit to you, or they can pay for it to be refined and then sell it to you. Stuff like that. But you can do it either way.
No, I so lots of opportunities you could do with the the mobile space station.
It also allows you to take that material that you've refined or purchased and then use it to repair as well. So it becomes a very industrial ship. I think the refinery thing with a shop would be amazing on that ship. That's the variant that I would make, and that's the best one I've heard. But
yeah, no, that's fair. And when I look at the Kraken, it doesn't feel like a military carrier. It feels like an industrial ship. It looks, it's kind of got that industrial feel. Maybe I'm just off my rocker.
No, the person off the rocker is Tech Zero. He said a luxury Kraken. No. There's the yellow.
Yeah, that is definitely insane. Yeah.
It's the same as the Rambler. Like, it makes no damn sense. So stupid. Anyway.
Yeah. Anyway, moving on.
Sister John says, question, when do you think we'll get the Expanse?
When it's needed. Matter of priority, I think.
I think you'd most likely see a refinery in a building first now, before you saw it in a ship. And I kind of had that realization knowing base building's coming. It's far easier to implement something in a building than it is in a ship now. So I think building will be, I don't know, again, I could be completely wrong, but from my developer brain's telling me I would implement it 9 times out of 10 in a building, make sure it's working, and then build a ship around that room. So that's what ships are. They're essentially a bunch of rooms, but instead of having to build the bunch of rooms, I've just got to build the one inside a small little box. In fact, all I've really got to do is take a plain room and put the machine in. It's even smaller. So yeah, it just makes it so much easier to test stuff and then roll it out into a ship.
And then I start putting it on a ship, because the second I put it in a ship, I've got to worry about it working and everything else working around it. And
exactly,
you have things break.
Yeah, more shit can go wrong. Zorgul says, how do you think specialized personnel armor for industrial professionals will impact gameplay? For example, could mining armor provide a boost like increased laser power or improved stability? Yeah, it depends how they want to implement it. I think the first test we're going to get of that is that stealth suit that's coming in next. And that's going to be the first soft class, because that's essentially what you're implementing when you do different suits of armor like that, is whatever I'm wearing dictates what I can do. So if I've got a heavy armor, I'm a heavy class. If I wear light armor, I'm a light class. It's that simple. And you can see all the mix matching in there. Can I get a heavy stealth suit? Is that a thing? Don't think so. But yeah,
I'd be surprised if you could, but yeah, it ties in with the types of things we've talked about in terms of the helm. So the different scanners you'll be able to have. So a combat scanner, a mining scanner, a medical scanner, and that will you be able to use those scanners to do other things? Yeah, sure, but where they're going to excel is in the thing they're doing.
Yeah,
and if you're trying to do other things, it's going to have reduced range or reduced accuracy, but it'll give you something.
Well, again, you take that heavy stealth suit, right? What are you giving up to have the heavy armor part of it? Probably so much so that you can't see very far. You know, I can see them doing it, but everything you got to remember will be pre-balanced. That's why they're doing it this way, because they can essentially tailor that to have the points and effects. You know, you can't just sit there and go, I want to have really high armor and stealth. It just doesn't work. What's the other part that you give up? Oh, you can't have any electronics at all. You know, you can be stealth, but you're almost blind. You know, there's got to be a negativity to the positives.
It's like looking at the Meteor. The Meteor is overgunned to the cows come home.
That's a good reference.
What does it give up?
Yeah, that's a really good reference. That thing is a complete glass cannon. It's got shields of a light. So it's way lighter than a medium, but then obviously it's got guns that are taking into the heavy. But again, that's balanced. You've lowered your defense so much that you're a light fighter, but you've increased your guns so much that you're a heavy fighter. But that still makes it a medium because, and that's a really good example. Yeah.
You know, so that's what we'll see in every ship.
Yeah.
Every game thing that comes in, every gun, every suit, every item of clothing will have limitations or pluses. You get a suit with lots of pockets, great, but it's going to be more bulky, so you're not going to be able to do X, Y, and Z with it.
That's a good one. Keep going. Sorry.
No, just finishing off. That was it.
I was just going to say, you just remind me of the giveaway we are doing on the Meteor, so I'm going to bring that up real quick. Why we're kind of talking about it. On this video that I did with John this week on the buyer's guide, I'll just flick it over so people can see. If you leave a comment, like and subscribe, you've got to be publicly subscribed because I need to be able to see it. But yeah, you can win a Meteor. So yeah, That's just a reminder. And we'll give that away next week. I like to give it an extra bit of time. That gives it about a week and a half before we draw it.
If you're online when we draw it, we may have something to throw in with it as well.
I like to try and chuck in a skin if I can, if someone wins it. So either the concierge skin or something like that. Something that's a bit harder to grab,
To get that extra, you have to be
in
the
stream.
show,
in the stream,
at the time. So it also makes it easier for us to give it away because you're right there, so we can get the details straight away.
True. All right, so there's a little public service announcement for the Meteor. Demon Wolf says, I don't know, the question is, can you trust randoms on your Idris before your fuse are taken out? I think that's a part of it. That will be, there'll be criminal activity. I think reputation with other players is going to be absolutely huge in this game. Once that rating system comes in and you've got those 5 stars, like you're going to have like 5, good rating with a lot of people. Think about what a spy is going to have to do. Like I remember that story in Eve, and there was that organization called Bob, and that guy, it took him 2.5 years to get into the institution, work his way up. And you don't just promote people willy-nilly, by the way. Like, they've got to prove themselves. How many people do you know that join organizations and they just sit there and they never do anything? So to actually actively get himself promoted from the bottom all the way up to be the second guy, and then the top guy one day was going away for a couple of days and literally gave him access to his account. Like, that's a lot of work over 2.5 years. He earned it. He earned, like, if it was all part of the plan, I'm sorry, but he fucking earned it. 2.5 years to backstab someone, you earned it, man. 2.5, you earned that backstab. And so it'll be the same thing in this, because you'll have to have like really high ratings and stuff. And if you're willing to burn that character to pull this off, I'm sorry, you earned it. You really, really did.
I just think that's a dick move to do, but that's
it is a dick move to do, right? Think about it from both sides of the coin, and I think you have to agree, if you're willing to put in the work of 2.5 years.
I don't think it changes whether it's a right thing to do. And it's hard because
no, it's not a right thing to do. I'm not saying it's right or wrong. I'm saying that person earned it though. They put in the hard work to earn it.
If it's a game where part of it is ripping people off, and then it
depends what gameplay they're into. That's initially like spy and intrigue and espionage, and there are people that are going to want to do that in this game. I wouldn't want to sit there for 2 years to do that. That to me seems like way too long. I'd lose interest way too quickly. But if someone else did it, and I'm sure we'll hear about it, right? And when we eventually hear about it, I'll be like, whoa. Well earned, I bet you it's annoying to the people it happened to, but it is like real life. Like, that is what people would do. We heard about stuff like that during almost every war. People that were behind enemy lines and spying and espionage.
I would, if I'm giving you my account details, you've got to be someone I trust and be friends with. But that's an insane thing to do.
Yeah,
and that's like giving someone your credit card details and saying, "There you go."
Well, the guy
that's nuts.
When it happened, the guy claimed that he gave it to him out of game, and the devs literally said, "That's all fair. It's all fair." Yeah, so I would never, just don't share your details like that. Just plan that you're going away and never give someone your details. This guy ended up emptying their entire org bank. Like, he essentially killed the org overnight. He just killed it. He just took everything they had. They were done. They were dead. And the whole reason he did it was because he was paid by another org to infiltrate this org and take it down from within. That was what he was paid to do. And he did what he was paid to do. And it took 2.5 years. And they were the biggest org in the entire game, and they fell. That'd be like someone trying to take down Tess.
Yep.
Anyway. Woof. It'll happen. I guarantee it, something like that happens to us. And anyway, right. Raoul says, do you think the Raft will increase in price now that it has proven to be much better? No, I don't think it needed to prove in price, because I think it's also lost a lot of shit. It was clearly meant to be a Sky Crane to lull the whole series. And if you disagree with me, then why did it come stock with 332 SUs cargo containers and not normal cargo from the start? Yeah, you can't. It was a Sky Crane. That's what it was. So it's lost all that functionality now. So it's just become another cargo ship. But I'll tell you what, it's a very good cargo ship now. And I think a lot of people are more happy with it. But I don't think that it needs a price increase, because the other thing is it can't really carry a vehicle. Like, it doesn't have the versatility of the go ahead.
I was just going to say it lacks the versatility, as you were saying, of other ships that can take the vehicle or the bike. It's very good at what it does, but it's limited.
Well, a way to show it's all limited too is there's no variants like the other mediums. There's no C1, E1, A1, no black, blue, red, Freelancer, Derb, Miss, Max. Like it just shows you it's a one-off. There is no variant, so it does what it does really, really well. That's the definition of a niche ship, is it not? It should do what it does exceptionally well. And I think it's been the highlight of this. I think if this mission had been 6 months ago, this event, the Raft wouldn't even be in contention. The Raft is only in contention because it's shown so many people how good it is during this mission. And I'm going to be honest, I think the Atlas is the true hero, because it takes any ship and makes it really good. Like, I have such an appreciation for that thing. Once you sit down and actually learn all the little fine details that are not talked about. And it does have issues. Like how you've got to look really high up to load things. But it just speeds up loading, unloading cargo like you wouldn't believe. It's insane. And it's also ironically not good at loading cargo short distances. So there's still room for the max lift and stuff like that, why the bugs are in. But when that thing's all fixed, like I can't see a single person that won't own one of those things. It's such a necessary piece of kit.
Picking up something you were just saying there, in terms of when you know all the little bits and pieces of the Atlas, it is absolutely awesome. But that's the same with every single ship.
Yeah, absolutely.
But once you know your ship back to front, inside out, up, and upside down, and all the rest of it, you appreciate all the little things it can do. And I think every ship's going to be like that. There'll be bonuses for having an Aurora. I struggle to see why you would want an Aurora, because the cargo capacity is so low. But there are going to be advantages of every ship, and when you know your ships really well, they shine. It's
like any game where you've got to learn the map or something like that. Like as I said, when I was out last night with Expat, there were a few guys that were with us, and they just didn't know the layout of the Polaris. And I was thinking, well, you probably should learn that. And they're like, but I'm never going to be on big ships. I'm like, no, that's such a wrong mentality to have. You are going to be on big ships.
I'm never going to be on a big ship, but I'm on this one now.
Yeah, and again, like as big ships go, like let's just go Polaris versus Idris straight there. Which one's harder to navigate? You know what I mean? Like the Polaris is not exactly rocket science. It's 2 decks and they're in a straight line, and there's not much else to say. You go the Idris,
it's the Polaris.
Idris is all over the shop.
Yeah.
But
for me, it's the Polaris though, because I've been running around in the Idris for quite a bit. But
But the point stands is, this game is going to be very much clearly a knowledge-based game, and already it's at the point where you and I are struggling to retain everything we know, and it's only going to get worse going forward because there's still a lot more to come. And so learning basic layouts of ships, I think, is going to be a thing. And the bigger they are, obviously, the harder they're going to be to learn. But I think that's a part of designing them well too, is that you can remember the basic layout. And what I mean, like in the Polaris, it's essentially 2 lines and just knowing roughly where the rooms are along those 2 lines. The Idris is a little different again, because you've got multiple decks and they're split in 2. But fundamentally, it's the same thing. It's just 3 decks of 2 lines. You know,
once
like,
you know them, it makes
exactly.
it easier. But
yeah, like, and it depends how you learn things in your head. If you're a visual learner, you might be going left, left, right to get to a room. But I always remember them more like as I said, as lines. Is it the left line? Is it the third deck line on the right, or is it And then I walk about halfway along. Again, summarize things can make things easy to remember. But yeah, you guys.
But I will say, all of the big ships could do a better signage and better iconography to guide you.
100% agree. 100%. Polaris is a really good example. They should be color coding the shit out of those sections. The blue section, the yellow section, the red section. Like, just make just little color coded things, and even giving people options to make their own colors eventually. Oh, I'm in the blue room. Oh, that's the cargo bay. I'm in the yellow room. Oh, that's the torpedo room, or whatever. You know what I mean? Like you can even allowing us to make our own signage would be a great idea, wouldn't it? Instead of it saying captain's quarters on every ship, it could say Admiral Algared's Uwu Lounge or whatever. You know? So little things like that would be nice to have. But again, so far down the line with priority order. Right. Cody Fox says, question, there was a rumor about a new capital ship larger than the Javelin but smaller than the Bengal during the Chinese Bar Citizen. If that rumor is true, what kind of ship would that be? That would be the battle cruiser, would it not, Algared?
That would be the battle cruiser.
And I just
which
Pegasus?
Is Pegasus class, but the battle cruiser is one that was it's not a new ship as rumored. It's one that's in the pledge goals, and I know that's what you were kind of pulling up as I was saying it, because you knew exactly where I was going.
We know each other too well. So this is just from the wiki. This is just an old image, and it also, the old studio they used to have in Manchester had one on the glass that you'd see in the back of videos and stuff. This is probably the most Battlestar Galactica ship we've got. It's got a hangar that hangs off to one side from memory. I think it's, if I go back to, I think it's this thing here. You come out there, Algared. Is that how you remember it?
I think that's where the hangar was,
Yeah. So slightly smaller than a Bengal, where Bengal's almost a bit like the Idris, where it's like a thing that goes all the way through. This is just a smaller hangar off to the side.
I think this was originally pitched as a light carrier. It's an RSI ship. Got a lot of RSI. But the battle cruiser was also in the pledge goals way back when. So 2014, 2013.
But again,
one of the early pledge goals.
The hindsight of time and stuff like that, you'd have to go episode 2, episode 3 type of thing. That's where we're going to see this thing. It's definitely a Squadron asset, just not for a game that exists yet, so to speak.
And I don't think it's a ship they'll sell.
No, they definitely won't sell it. The biggest ship we can get is the Bengal. Oh, sorry, the Javelin. Misspoke there completely. Yeah, Javelin's the biggest ship we can get, but you can earn bigger ships like the Bengal and this Pegasus and stuff like that. So yeah.
Well, I know with the Bengal, they originally talked about finding them, damaged and repairing them and rearming them, and then the question would be, would you be able to keep it? Would the military want it? And
it was like the Javelin. Initially, the Javelin came with nothing. It was just the hull, and you were going to have to upgrade it and put all the stuff on it. That's how it was said you will find the Bengals and stuff. You'll have to find all the turrets and stuff and earn them all, and that's the org progression right there.
Yeah, originally it was stripped of all the military upgrades, so to have the bare basics for you. But the idea was, the org would spend time busting their guts. So so we can get the new upgraded cannon system and the new components and the A grade military.
I think that's changed a bit now, because again they showed the Bengal being able to build it at the space station. So you just build it now. It's
Javelin.
Oh, wasn't it a Bengal?
You said Bengal.
Yeah, wasn't it a Bengal?
It was a Javelin. No, it was a Javelin they were building.
I'm
from memory
pretty sure it was a Bengal. Pretty sure they were building a Bengal at that space station. Let me know in the chat, guys.
We can go back and have a look.
I'm
pretty certain.
But just let us know at the end at CitizenCon last year when Algared and I were sitting in the crowd. I remember it as a Bengal. Was it a Bengal they were building at the space station or a Javelin? It was a Bengal. Okay, so there's I'm pretty sure it was a Bengal. That's what I remember, because it was one of the two things you and I took out of the entire presentation that was new to me and you. Everything else was just a repeat. That's why I remember it so well. The other one was the military thing. The military ships in that the schematics and stuff that kind of explained their price. But anyway, all right. Demon Wolf says the Raptor is safe to assume it would be out, say 1.0, priced around $100. I don't think it'll have a price. I think that'll be an asset that essentially NPCs drive around that you can kind of commandeer. And I think they're just giving it to people as a referral bonus reward thing. It's not going to be really functional. Think of it like a PTV. That's basically what it's going to be. It's not going to. It's not going to really do anything. Like it might leave a water effect or something on the ground, but it's just something that you pull out and can meme on. It's nothing really. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know if you think any different, but I don't see it being anything more than that.
If it's something I was selling, it would have, and certainly at that price tag, it would have to have functionality.
Yeah.
And have an impact on the world. And at the moment, it's just a street sweeper. And unless it can go through the cities and pick up the dead bodies and turn them into solent green, it's got no purpose.
Again, I look at our street sweepers here compared to the Raptor that they had going around Manchester. Well, I'm far more looking forward to the Rex gameplay. Let's just put it that way, if you get the reference. But yeah. Maybe way down the road they could add cleaning gameplay in, kind of like Power Wash Simulator or something like that. But again, I'd rather be cleaning my ship than cleaning the streets. I don't know about you, Algared, but you know, I think that would be more a better gameplay for similar to Power Wash Simulator. But that's just me.
Scrubbing your hangar clean so that it increases your repair capability. Yeah, maybe, but yeah.
Cool.
It's a meme ship. That's about it.
Basically. Or a reward for referraling, but yeah. Shinobi Trip says, after the Meteor Shimmer paint, if there's released some basic bitch color scheme for the best in show again, I say we're right. Actually saw this on another streamer this week. Someone said, what shade of purple do you think the best in show paint will be this year?
Lilac.
Yeah. As I said earlier, big grain of salt. It's apparently like a copper or a bronze. Yeah, copper or bronze, I still think that'll be taken pretty well, because again, it's like a color that we don't have. I don't know what it's for or anything like that, but there's a lot of colors there that we don't have. Like we don't have a lot of greens. The only greens we seem to ever see are the emeralds for St. Patrick's Day, like an actual true green. I'm really surprised we haven't seen like a Squadron 42 army green. You know what I mean? Like that would have been to me be like the logical. Maybe that's next year. You know, when they drop Squadron or whatever. That would be the one I would assume it. Check my DMs. Okay. Algared, do you want to answer that one?
Which one was that?
What do you guys think? No. After the Meteor Shimmer, so basically what color do you think the best in show is going to be? Oh,
well,
yeah.
I don't care. Doesn't bother me.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you for the reminder. Yeah. So after last week where I talked about the shirts, I had two different people from CRG reach out to me. One of them suggested that we do a team that is not always on the shows that they do. And then a second person I talked to echoed that other person's thoughts and then suggested we do the QA team. The QA team is actually bigger than the ship team though, because they're integrated in almost every studio. But I'm pretty sure CRG can get the shirts to need where they go if we can deliver them to one studio. But I kind of wanted to just see what the audience thinks of doing the shirts again and doing the QA. From my perspective, they're actually easy to design because QA has a lot better ideas for shirts than the mission team. But again, we would be relying on you guys again to help fund these. So I think it
going for 5.
You're going for 5 minutes? Okay. We had think it took us about a week to fund. Well, it was 2 streams to fund them last time, so we got it funded pretty quickly, but we didn't have a lot of turnaround time. So I guess I'm asking you guys, in short, would you be happy to help us fund shirts again? Is that something that you see it as merited to kind of give morale to the team and stuff like that? Just let me know your thoughts when you can. I can put up a Q&A if you want, or let me know. All right, maybe it's taking a while for you to get back to me. But yeah, you know, I thought of a few ideas, like on this one where it says the Inforunners community on the background, we could say thanks for testing our patience from the Inforunners, and then all our names, you know, stuff like that. So I've come up with really cool little ideas, and I did talk about with Daft, because Daft obviously did this shirt, and he'll probably do the next one. But Daft, let me know in chat too, like, do you see there being better ideas for QA than the mission team that we're looking at? And the other thing is the mission team was only 7 people from what we were told. So basically we could do that ourselves pretty easily. But if that was one of the reasons why I wanted to do it. We didn't have to rely on you guys at all. But if we do the QA team, then it'll be back to getting you guys to do them. But the bonus is obviously every shirt you buy for yourself, you also buy one for a developer. And I know the people that got shirts, I haven't heard any bad things. So, yeah. I feel so lonely without Algared. I feel like I'm talking to myself. This is why I hate doing shit on my own. No one's talking to me. Are you guys even there? Hello? Am I alone? I feel like I'm alone. This is going to age poorly. Am I alone? This is going to make clip of the day. I'm talking to myself like a crazy madman. Is anyone there? Hello? Is the internet even on? Hello? Anybody? All right, maybe. All right, Tomo's there. Right, yeah, cool. Oh, thank God. Oh, I thought I was alone. I thought there was like a Thanos snap. Right. All right, there we are. Right. Okay. People talking to me. Oh my God. Everyone's so quiet. Have I put you to sleep? Have I got one of those voices that just makes people? Right. All right. So let me know. Q&A. QA, the QA team, would that work for you guys? Quality assurance. No, don't tell Bucks. I don't want to appear on that thing. Embarrassment. That's where all the lame people go, like Tomo, Piss Poor Pete. They all turn up in there every week. That's why. I've never been on there because I'm fussy. Like that. Anyway. Right. 5 minutes, my ass. That was like 2 minutes. And it was terrible 2 minutes. Glad you're back. Right. Yeah, there is a QA team. But yeah. Can you only watch Twitch chat? No, I read both. It's just that I tend to focus on Twitch because Algared's got the tablet and he reads. Yeah. Well, that's the other part. We can joke with them that we are the QA team. Like that's what I mean. Like there's a lot more jokes that we can write around it. Like things like, you know, my boss tested my patience literally, you know, like there's a whole bunch of things you could put on there, you know. You know, we can take a dig at Chris with a shirt or yeah.
And we do monitor both chats. So yeah. Actually Indonesia actually when I was watching doing the stream in Indonesia on the big screen. And we were saying, I don't have Twitch. And you said, why don't you have them both up? Well, now I got them both up on one monitor. The tablet's been tossed aside. And so I've just got both chats up because then they're bigger and I can actually not trying to read the small print on our screen. So
that's what I'm dealing with. He doesn't even know he has the technology. But anyway, he got there. Yeah. It only took 7 years, but he got there.
Now I just keep them both up.
Yeah.
It does cause problems at times if I'm swapping screens, but yeah. Yeah. But the thing is we follow both.
Yeah. So Duff, in the moderator channel, if you're listening, talk to the other mods and get a channel put up for the shirts. We'll do it around the QA team. We've got enough time to test the water for ideas and stuff like that. And we'll move with that. And if that doesn't work, then we'll fall and people don't support it, we'll fall back to the mission team. But I got a feeling that you guys, you know, I like to see this as a morale exercise to help CIG. And I think it's a bit of banter and a bit of play on words and stuff like that. I think the QA team are very integral to the entire process. When they came to me and said, can you do the QA team? I was very much on board. I just want to know if you guys agree. Because again, you guys are funding this. It's not coming from our pockets. So if you guys don't want to make shirts for them, I'm not going, it's on you guys. And I don't want to make you feel bad that you like them or not. It's entirely up to you guys. But I think they are worth thanking. It is a thankless task in a lot of gaming studios. They are treated by absolute shit. Think about all the reports you saw of people being let go of game studios over the last couple of years. The people that went first were QA. They are the most disposable.
They're lower rung.
Yeah. They're considered absolutely disposable. And that's not true, because they also work incredibly hard at a very monotonous job. You might like a game like Star Citizen, but if you are forced to play that shit over and over and over and over, it can be absolutely mind-numbing. I've done it and I hated it. It was a nightmare.
And I can imagine you're not only just playing it over and over, you're being told, okay, we need to reduplicate. How many times can you reduplicate that error? Where does it show up? You know, and you're doing all of that constantly, just running through. You're not just doing the gameplay.
You have to make the bug the game. Basically, you are trying to. The challenge is to find what's causing what's wrong, and it's not always identifiable easily. And sometimes, do you know what's the worst though? This is gonna sound crazy. When there are no bugs. Because you're literally playing the same thing over and over and nothing exciting happens, because you know everything that's going to happen. So in a way, it actually gets worse the better it becomes.
So
in a weird turn of phrase, but yeah.
But the QA, the quality assurance, is great. They are an important component. So yeah,
maybe that could be the shirt. Someone was saying that we are the QA team, and we could literally just say welcome to the QA team from the Inforunners, and it's just all their names on the back. Welcome. I don't know how you word it. Welcome second-class citizens to the QA team. I don't know what the joke is there, but like, you know what I'm trying to say. Like, they're just one of us. Well, welcome to the community citizens or something like that. But I'm sure you guys can come up with some ideas. Chuck them into that Discord channel that we'll get Raft and the other mods to set up, and just so we can go from there. But I think I don't know, Algared, I don't know if you agree, but basically I think quality assurance has better ideas for shirts than the mission team. It definitely makes it easier to brainstorm.
I think the QA team, as quite a few people even in the YouTube chat are saying, they deserve some love. And it's about time. I think it's about time. But
yeah. While you were gone, by the way, absolutely nothing happened. It was like chat was absolutely dead. Nothing happened. It was so weird.
Now I'm going to have to scroll back through a chat because something obviously did happen. It's my thought.
No. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Okay. You do that. You look through the chat. I got no problem with that.
Okay.
Nothing happened.
Right. Okay. I'll trust you. Millions wouldn't, but I will.
No. Seriously, go check the chat. Nothing happened in chat.
Okay. Fine. Okay.
Right. Citizen Tigran says, "What do you guys think about my fleet? Arastra, Perseus, and F8. Thank you for the vids. Arastra, Perseus, and F8. Perseus. No, I don't think there's anything really wrong with that. It's nice, small, concise, bit of mining, bit of coverage." 8 for combat, yeah, fine. Probably, yeah. I think maybe, if anything, maybe plan to turn the F8 into more of a daily driver and earn the fighters. Fighters for me are just earning game because they're clearly overpriced as shit. Yeah. What about you, Algared? Anything you would change that one, or is it just?
Well, Perseus is overpriced as crap as well. So it depends where did you get your ships straight off the bat? Did you have a smaller ship that you upgraded to? In which case, they're great. But if if your Perseus is the ship you bought for $650 odd, then man, you could do better than that. But yeah, if that's what if that deals with what you want to do in game, and then it's fine.
Yeah. Essentially, fix my fleets are just interventions. We literally just listen to what you're saying and almost repeat it back to you verbatim.
Yeah.
And then try to remove double ups and kind of maximize your value after that.
Yeah, and it's never saying you've made wrong choices. It's just saying you've got, if it's a double up, we say you've got a double up. You want to get to this point. You could ditch this and go that way. And it's just, as X just said, it's literally trying to maximize your dollar to get to where you want to go and give you everything you're trying to do. And that's,
you know, someone's got a mole and a prospector. Why do you have a mole and a prospector? Just get an Arastra or an Orion, like, and earn down. You know, they're really simple things that just make the money go
I always
further.
I always look at the Orion one, you know, because you get the Orion, you get the mole and the prospector as loaners. It's like
true, and you know, I know people. Yeah, I think there's a whole bunch more miners coming too. I think that's pretty much confirmed at this point. The fact that they've told us that underground mining is still a thing, but they removed it from the prospector. That tells me there's another whole set of mining ships coming. When's the next question though?
Yeah, I think at the bare minimum it tells us that we're going to have a mining building.
Yes, I'd agree with that as well. Yeah,
you know, so you've bare bones, you've at least got a mining station and a building.
Much like I said about refinery. Hear that? That's great English.
Yeah,
refinery. Like the refinery, you'll probably see in a building before you saw it in ships.
Yeah.
So I agree. Yeah, I agree with you 100% that you'll see it as a building before anything else.
Yeah.
Right, Citizen Ninja, do you really think the mech suit will be added to Ship Showdown bracket against a ship or a vehicle? Absolutely. It's in the game. Like before vehicles came along, they were just called ships. Now they're all called vehicles. You know? Of course they're going to add it to that. Been out for a year. It's already in the vote.
Popular.
You know, and it's popular. Yeah, why wouldn't they?
That's right. It's already got people putting it forward, so.
How many people do you know that brought an Atlas when it first came out? And the Atlas Geo and whatever other variant of the Atlas they bring out next. Yeah. There's at least one more Atlas in the cards, by the way, because of that. It could have been canned, but or turned into something else. But in Astro Armada, there's a picture on the. You're standing in, looking at the ship at the back. It's on the left-hand side, and there's a picture of essentially it looks dead ringer of an Atlas floating in space, salvaging.
And we always thought about, you know, at one point we thought, is that the cutter?
Yeah.
That, you know, the little suit or ship or whatever.
Yep.
That's supposed to come with the reclaimer.
And then when the Atlas dropped, I noticed it and showed it to Algared, and I said, look, that's the Atlas. And yeah.
Yep.
No, I would totally agree with that, Sangro, because Sangro's saying that the Atlas and the Geo, as good as they are way overpriced. Yeah, we worked this out on another stream. That they roughly need to be, was it $8 or $9? I think it was $8.50 or something like that is actually what they're worth when you compare it to the Aurora and stuff. That's what they should be priced at.
Yeah. Especially when you look at the Aurora ES as a $20 ship with a quantum drive. That's insane.
But again, I think the likely contender for vehicles would be that Atlas, the Anvil Atlas platform variant we saw in the silhouette images. I think that's probably what we're getting at AIE. Cabal 6, thank you for the gifted sub to a corpse on Twitch.
Yep.
Where up to next? Shinobi Trip. Knowing what we do about Elliot, do you think he deserves his current event to force Sergey's hand to fix elevators? Possibly. There's a really good song by Pissball Pete called "Blame Elliot, Blame Elliot." Da, 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 and it goes, and it's he based it. I can't. He even told me what he based it on. Blame Canada from South Park. That's what it was. He just changed it to Blame Elliot instead of blame Canada. So yeah.
So we can just blame Elliot for everything. Yep.
Yeah. He wants to do a hashtag Blame Elliot. And that'd be a really good T-shirt just for the mission team. Hashtag Blame Elliot. Just you're done right there. But yeah.
Not my fault. Blame Elliot. Yeah, something like that.
World hunger. Blame Elliot. Yeah. Rabbit. No, Rabbit. He asked the question an hour ago. Yeah. So we still got that question too, Rabbit.
It was probably Yeah.
Rabbit's last question an hour ago. Yeah. Wolf Senso 3 question: can we expect playable / purchasable large capital alien warships in game? BMM is the only one I've heard about over the years. This is all speculation what I'm about to say here, but Algared and I have talked about this a lot in the past. We firmly believe that a lot of the ships for alien races will come with their set expansion packs. So what's a good example? The Cyan, right? The Cyan. Or the Jean, as they call it in the military. When they come out, there's not a lot of ships for them either, just like there isn't for the Banu. But you would then be able to play as one of the Jean or the Cyan. You'd have, again, if you do 3 episodes like you do for Squadron 42, you've probably got one that's internalized, one that's probably against the humans, and then one that's against the race that's behind them. So in that case, that would be the Cathak. And every race that we know of, so the Vandal, the Cyan, and the Banu, we all know they have a race behind them. So essentially, if you think about it, it is a way to keep expanding the single-player campaigns. And again, if, say, eventually they go all the way around and come back, you could then do the Cathak as an expansion. And then what's the alien race that we learn about behind them? And you'll probably learn about that during the Cyan expansion, that you're doing stuff with the Cathak, and they mention another race behind them.
And that makes sense. Like you look at every MMO, they just expand and take what they've done and just add something else. And so that gives you that never-ending adding something new. First expansion I'd love to see is a Tavaran. They're the alien race that is in the UEE. They're subsumed into the UEE. Their culture has been lost. They purged their culture because Bajora just wasn't working. They lost to the humans twice. Lots of Tavarans supposedly work or serve on the military. So I could really see playing as a Tavaran and trying to learn, get a grasp of my culture again. So I'd be doing all the missions to learn what I'm doing. And I wouldn't need to add new lore, as in background lore that I should know, because I'm coming from living in the UEE. So to me, that makes sense. But then having all the Tavaran ships. Yeah.
Someone in the chat was saying, I like Elliot. I made him say hello to Polish community during CitizenCon. Well, I like him too. I made him say hello to Pisspoor Pete.
And that was Elliot's idea, by the way.
Apparently, it's Pete's favorite photo. He's got it framed on the wall. That's what he told me. So yeah.
But I was on the opposite side of the table, and they said, "Oh, send Pete a message." And I was just going to do a thumbs up. And Elliot said, "No,
give him the bird.
Give him the bird."
Yeah. So anyway,
Elliot gives as good as he gets.
Yeah.
I'll say.
Yeah, he definitely does. Yeah. He's a man of the people. Right. I gotta go back to questions now. What was the next one? Wolfsense says, question: being a space sim, what are your thoughts on how far they should go with making this game realistic without feeling like a job, or it takes too much time for a task before the fun kicks in? That's really important to get. You striking balance between fun and realism is really important. And the one that I know Chris has talked about in the past is Battlefield. You've got to make it fun and have the realism. And there's 2 different ways people go about it. Some people make it fun and then bring the realism up to the fun. But then I've heard other people say, no, you make it realistic and then bring it back to fun. So you can do it both ways. There's no right on way to do it.
And I've got the impression CIG have certainly in the past been realism, dialing back the fun. Yeah. And you see that just in the way they build their ships, or the fidelity of and that feel.
Yeah.
The fact that they want you to, if you're pressing a button on your monitor, to kind of see the button being pressed and those types of things.
Again, being in a game that's kind of being developed to, it's not going to be completely realistic until it's all working properly. Yeah. So it's kind of hard to see. Yeah.
But when you look at CIG pushing for, proper storm fronts and proper planetary lighting and snow and rain and all the rest of it. That's going for pretty good realism. But then you want to bring it back to time, and that's why our planets are 1-to-1.
Yep. All right. Now, next question. Socially Confused says, with the cooperative zones being changed to a sandbox activity, what do you think about blockers is from having PvE zones? There was someone that reiterated stuff that was from another streamer's chat where someone from CIG was saying it's not sandbox. Whatever information they put out is incorrect. So I wouldn't believe that that is factually correct yet. I would wait until there's an update on that based on what I've heard people talking about. So yeah, I just give it a few days on that one, Socially Confused, because I think you're going to find something's going to change. I could be wrong, but just the what I read, and it was in the general chat on our Discord. Someone was talking about it. Let me just quickly. It was only yesterday.
Looking for someone to raid.
Rec. His name was at Rec. At Rec.
Yep.
What was the person? And it was literally at 2 or 3 pages up, not very far, that I have to go to get to that. So it's they're still kind of talking about it in the general chat if you want to do that on the Discord. Right. Stream questions. Rabbit says, where are all the dark Drake vehicles? Do you think that we'll see Drake style tank or Storm or Ursa? Well, Algared and I talk about this too. Much like the ships, I think they're probably coming in one of the episodes of Squadron. Where's the medium, heavy, and heavy fighter from Drake, as an example? They don't exist. They're meant to be pirate. Where are all these pirate ships?
Well, people assume Drake are pirates. Their ships get sold to people and they get used for piracy, just like the pirates use every other ship in the game. But in terms of the vehicles, we've got the Dragonfly, but then that's it. And it would be nice to see other types of vehicles from Drake.
Technically, we've got the Mule as well.
Oh, yep. I forgot about that.
Not very useful, but it technically does exist, so there is a vehicle. But yeah, it would be. I'd like to see something a bit more, a bigger vehicle is what I'm trying to say. Like, so a bigger ground vehicle. I don't know what it would be. Would it be industrial? Would it be military? Who knows? But it feels like there's a gap, between essentially the cutter or the golem and the mule. There's a gap there that could be filled. Yeah.
And then the question is, like, if you go bigger, how many Ursa-sized vehicles do you need at present? And so it becomes that age-old comment, priority. And it's not a priority to have more vehicles.
Not at the moment. That's probably going to come. Like, once base building kicks off and we have the base defenses, then you'll probably get a lot more things like mortars and stuff like that. So when they all come in, that's when I think there'll be a lot more
demand,
like a ground gameplay renaissance. I don't know, like it'll become that more Battlefield experience they've kind of talked about, or what they call theaters of war. I think that's it's a cart before the horse problem. Really, you need the bases to defend and stuff like that. Because again, once you start building your own base, you're going to want to defend it from other people in game, and so that'll just escalate as they add more vehicles and stuff. Like, you can totally see right now, like a ballista or something you'd have parked outside as soon as someone's coming, or they've flown in to attack you. Do they bomb the base or do they bomb the ballista? Things like that. So it's going to be interesting to see how that pans out, but give it time. I would be very surprised, considering on the roadmap how they already have an anti-personnel turret coming in the next patch. I would not be surprised if with crafting, one of the very first things you can build is some kind of defense turret for your base. It would just absolutely stupefy me. You and I talked about shields, by the way, didn't we, back in the day? Then they came up. Then they turned up in one of the PowerPoint presentations about base building. So. And the only thing that's probably going to be able to get through a shield is a slow-moving bomb, like out of an A2. But you can see how the gameplay is going to work. shoot that A2 before it gets to us because it can drop a bomb in and really stuff us up. But a ship can't go through the shield and guns can't go through the shields, but a bomb
maybe
can.
And then you've got the armor and other things that would.
And I also think that'll probably be the same case with mines. I'm actually hopeful eventually that'll open with torpedoes too. That explains why they move so slow. You got to shoot them to take it out because they pass through the shield. But again, I'm not on that design team, but that's just what I would have expected. But we'll have to wait and see.
No, I can see that type of stuff. But it's a game that gameplay balance. Slow moving things are easy to shoot.
Yeah.
But their bonus is they can get through your defenses if you don't take them out. Do more damage. So.
Commander Jackal says, 07 gents, a quick question for you. With all the variants that we've seen in the last 12 months, have you heard if the ship team have lost people to other game studios, or are they just growing the team? Haven't heard anything about losing people. But I think, Ari, you tell me if you think different to this, because we haven't talked about this. I think with the way they've trained people this time, they have made, or I would learn the lesson to not be so reliant on such a small number of people. So, you know, where those guys kind of did everything, I'd almost train them so they can only do smaller things, if that makes sense. So you know, like, they're not, I don't know, because again, it makes them more valuable, and when you lose them, it had such a huge impact. I don't know.
Yeah, I think there's certainly a level where everyone is being able to train to do everything. So that plethora of onboarding tasks seem to imply that building everyone up to the same skill and the same level. Now, that may not be true, but there certainly seems to be that level of try to keep everyone developing their skill and building up to bigger ships and bigger abilities. And I think part of it is to help ensure you don't get a problem where all your people leave.
Yeah.
And you're left in a hole. So yeah.
Jimmy asks, when as the Starfarer made gas only, I last recall the refinery ports were able to fill any type of refinery. Yeah, that's what I recalled as well. But there was a video that I saw, and I saw another streamer watching it, and actually I think it was Space Tomato. Space Tomato was watching. I was watching one of Space Tomato's videos, and he literally in the video, he's John Cruise saying, "Oh, the Starfarer can only refine gas," and I'd never heard that before, and I linked it to Algared because I knew that he wouldn't have heard it either. And sure enough, he's recalled it because again, that's how we remember things. We don't need to remember where he got it from. We just need to remember the important facts.
But early on, my impression was that when it was made as a refueler, it was only going to be refueling gas, and then as time went on, it kind of morphed for a little bit to be just with a refinery we could do anything, and that sense of swung back. So development goes like that. You know, you make your plan and have an idea of where it's going, and then you go, well, okay, we've only got so many refineries, we need them to do this, so that, and then you go, well, actually, we can actually put it back to where it was.
It makes sense though, being a gas refinery, a gas ship that can only refine gas, because then it also gives more of a reason for other refinery ships to exist. I'd almost expect the same thing to be of the same case of the Arastra. It can only refine ores.
Yeah, well, I'd expect the same thing for any refinery on the Orion.
Yeah,
it can only do ore.
Yeah,
and it's that type of thing that gives those ships purpose and role, ability. Whereas you take your stuff to the station, the space station can do everything.
Does it go further that when they do underground stuff, that all the underground stuff is liquid, so they can only refine liquids? Who knows? Because I'd almost expect there to be gas, liquid, and ores underground, or do they separate them, and each ship does different things?
Yeah,
you see where I'm going?
Yeah,
but again, we don't know. But these are the questions you have to think about. Yeah. Right. Caveman Crafting says, question, how do you feel about the community would react if Star Marine / Arena Commander had a forge-like function similar to what Halo had. I don't know that Forge function. Have you ever played Halo Forge function?
I don't know that either.
Yeah, I can't answer that one. Sorry. Caveman Crafting. I know you're on Twitch chat. I saw you typing just a minute ago. So if you want to update that with context of how the Forge function in Halo works, we will come back to answer that one. Apparently, those of you that are listening, the Evo patch just dropped. Thank you to Rayback6 who just let me know that. I'll double check and confirm. Was there a preview sneak peek this week, Algared?
I don't think so.
And confirm that there is a PTU patch. He is absolutely correct. So if you are listening, you can download the PTU for Evo if you are an Evo member. I'm just having a quick look. If you hear a ding of the email, that is on my end. Do not panic. Samuel. Wait, actually, I can answer Caveman's question. It says basically allowing players to create their own multiplayer maps in game. The Simpod?
Probably not.
The Simpod.
Yeah, Mission Pod might do that. For that, more Mission Pods in SU is more getting into Arena Commander to do the practice of the combat. I don't think we'll have the ability to make our own maps, and I know you can do that in you could do that in some of the other games I've played as well. But yeah, I don't see it being here. Maybe down the track.
Has anyone got a preview from this week's newsletter? Because I don't have it yet. Hearing all those dings go off, no doubt, but no, there's no
ding in that. Yeah,
there's no. Not for you. It won't be for you, but it might be on the live stream. Because it's going through my system.
Yep.
And you don't get that sound. Yeah. So no
Samuel's
newsletter yet.
question.
Okay, cool. Yep. Go ahead, Algared.
Samuel's question was, how fast do you think CIG would take to drop Nyx and then Castra before Squadron 42 or after?
I think they kind of want to have 1.0 out at the same time as Squadron, is my thought. Nyx was, well, you tell me, Algared, from what you saw at Nyx last year, would you say that was predominantly done?
Look, I would assume predominantly done. Based on the main area had been done already. We've done a lot of work on Nyx in terms of the doors and the lighting and putting light switches in. They changed the map. So we've done a lot of work on Nyx. So I reckon Nyx is probably very close.
Yeah, maybe plans change too. Maybe they're going, all right, we need to put more people working on Squadron. So 1.0 of Star System does drop back to after the release. That's the flexibility there. Squadron is the priority. I would love to get 1.0 to go at the same time. Okay, too bad. Drop it back.
If we're looking at those planetary systems before 1.0 or at 1.0, that also means that not only are we were getting Nyx and Castra, but we'll also have Terra as well, because all three of those systems are currently slated as being part of 1.0. Will they all make 1.0?
So, Sanctioned in YouTube chat says 1.0 is so far away. Did you hear you say it'll drop next year? I think that what you and I expect 1.0 to be and CIG expect 1.0 to be is very different. I think 1.0 is a hugely cut back variant of what you and I would expect.
And I go on.
No, I was going to say they're just going to build on it.
Yeah, and I think the things they're listing, if you look at the planner, the roadmap, and you look at the cards, you look at the full 1.0, so everything there, that's the things at present they'd like to get there. Not saying it's going to be there. It's what they want to get there and what they're aiming for. How many of those things in roadmaps of past have we seen get pushed to the next one because it's just not going to make it? But it's always the intention of what we want.
Yeah. He's now saying that that's the largest dose of hopium ever. I think we just clarified why it's not. It massively cut back, and it's not what you and I would expect it to be. I think they are trying to say 1.0 to kind of encourage people to stay around. Is there enough gameplay there? I think you and I would both agree there's not enough gameplay in that to keep people playing. They need a lot more. Even base building is not going to be enough. Right, so would you and I be disappointed, Sector, at 1.0? Yeah, I think we will be.
Yeah.
I really, really do. I don't think it's going to have enough gameplay to sustain people, but I think they want to tell people it's out so it looks good on paper or marketing or whatever you want to call it. But until you can actually have those default core gameplay, and I think that's also why they're working on scanning and bounty hunting, stuff like that, because if you look at it from a basic core loop, you need scanning to find people and you need bounty hunting to be able to bring the pirates in. You've already got the things of value that the pirates can go after, like cargo, mining, salvaging, whatever that cargo, valuable is. So you've got that. The piracy comes on its own. It's just once they can find people, they can do that. So that's the scanning. But you need a bounty hunter or a reason for escorts to be with the people. And that, again, requires the bounty hunting stuff. So once those two parts are in, that core gameplay is there. And I think that's what they're trying to call 1.0. It's my personal opinion. Algared, I hand it off to you. Do you think that is the same?
I think the things they've got listed on 1.0 at the moment are the things they're aiming for. Will they? It makes sense for Squadron and 1.0 to come out because of the marketing idea.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think. I'd like to think we'll get all their focus on the 5 systems because that's a big thing. But I don't know what aspects of 1.0 will get booted and what ones won't.
Mm-hmm.
But I do know that every other when they've done the cards in the past, everything gets. Some things will get in, some things won't. But you can see a lot of those things to me also seem like it's a fleshing out or as a polishing of things that are already there, like the sounds and
the only one that I think
sounds through difference and stuff.
Super gameplay orientated is the Star Sim. The rest is audio, planet tech, dynamic weather. They're all nice to have. Gameplay. Here we go. Quantum travel, guide system, insurance, law and security. That's bounty hunting.
That's just
reputation V2, player professions. That's the different suits and stuff. Additional new player professions to the that's vague as hell. Additional player professions positions such as building, crafting, exploring, athletes, and more. That's just the suits. Death of a Spaceman, AI Blades, Artemis Fire and Weather, Fire Haze, Charge and Drain, Life Support, Engineering, which is that would be another one too. Soul Affairs, Vehicle Radar and Scanning. Well, that's the scanning, FPS and scanning, IC controls, hangar upgrades, weapons and overheat. So everything we said about bounty hunting and scanning is in there though, because that's the law and order system. That's the rep, and that's those two different versions of scanning, vehicle and FPS. It's all in there. The core tenet is there.
And that's all stuff and we know that every year when they bring out the where are we going and they show the stuff that's coming, it's always this is the stuff we're aiming for in the next year.
And I think that the other part Sacred's saying there, well, I agree we need bounty hunting so bad, best way to balance out the pirating gameplay. Well, it's not just that. I think a lot of people that like pirating will become bounty hunting. I don't think that's mutually exclusive. I think you'll get a lot of people that just like that PvP shit, and the only way they get that fix right now is through piracy. Yeah. And I would generally like to sit down with some people. Like I could sit down and do an episode with Moist and Agent again, and ask them what their thoughts are on that. And I think they would probably agree with me that a lot of people would happily do bounty hunting or escorting for that matter, knowing that it's gonna increase their odds. Yeah, well, it might be more financially viable to play the good guy than the bad guy, especially in a game that's kind of in flux and having shit added to it. One patch might be good to be an escort or say like that, but what would be a bounty hunter, and then one to be a pirate, depending on what the patches needs. Not going off for your sanctity, but I just thought that was a really important thing to talk about because I do get your frustration. I totally agree. It's they need to communicate what their intentions are for 1.0. But as Algared said, I think you hit the nail on the head. It is all in there. It is all in that roadmap tile. What they're aiming for. So, yeah. Right. What's next, Algared? We're down to the last few questions here, aren't we?
Yep. We are down to the last few.
Right. Samuel IY says, how fast you think Sig will take to drop Nyx and Castra before Squadron 42 after?
I think we just did that.
We just do that one.
Yeah, we did.
Yeah. I guess it falls into the one we just did. Yeah. Sam V40AA. That is a weird name. Sam. Sev.
And that's exactly the same question.
Yeah, I know. That's really strange. Yeah. Oh, he did it one on Twitch and one on YouTube. That's why. Okay. Yeah, I get it now. All right. Venivigus says, are Wicklow only ships going to make their way into in-game stores? They better. They really better.
I hope so.
Yeah. I think
maybe sans the Wicklow skin, but
yeah. Again, to me, it's like making people grind stuff twice. It's like they realized people had too much money, instead of just giving it to them, they chucked it into Wicklow. I'm trying to understand their design decision to chuck it into Wicklow, and I think it's a way to encourage people to test stuff for them.
Yep.
Where if they just chucked it into the game and gave you money for it, you could do anything you want. But by putting it behind Wicklow, they only give you the Wicklow tokens on the things they want you to do.
And so hunting down creatures or getting you to test that gameplay.
Which also explains why the requirements for certain things change every patch. Oh, you were doing that last patch? Well, we need you to test this now, so you need these items.
Yeah.
It makes sense from a developer perspective, but it's bloody annoying if you're not in an org.
Drives the players absolutely balmy. But we're testing and get used to it. We're testers.
They did say the Wicklow's not going away, so they're going to keep doing it. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Jimmy says Starson Live EU PU gameplay features 36 to 38 minutes for Starfarer and all other refinery being ambidextrous hardpoints. So as long as you have the right refinery pods, it works. I would have to go back and you're putting me on the spot there, man. I'm just telling you, it was in a video that Space Bernardo was showing in one of his videos in the last couple of weeks, and I literally snippeted it and sent it to Algared and said, "Look," and then it had the timestamp. So if you can't take mine and Algared's word for it, you'll have to wait for me to go back in my long list of priorities and find that clip from you from ages ago to send you. Not going to lie about it, but the other part is it's like what Algared said, things get updated, things get changed. So maybe one of those videos is older than the other, and maybe you're right and maybe we're wrong, or vice versa. So yeah, you'd have to go look up both videos and find which one's newer.
And unfortunately, I can't remember.
Yeah.
At this point in time, X can't either. We will see what we can do, but at this present point in time,
not going to say you're wrong, but I'm also not going to say you're right. But you'd have to look up both videos and see which one's the more newer information. Right. Do you want to do the last question? Oh, no, actually, I can do the last one. I've already got it up, don't I? Commander Jackal says, what do you think it will take for CIG to redistribute the rare Wicklow resources to be slightly more available? It is a bit of a grind to get them. I would agree with that. I think it's just balance and tweaking. They need to learn what resources are required, but you also know they just don't want people giving stuff away for free because it can affect the out of game store as well. So I guess it is trying to it is trying to teach them to balance better, and they are learning. Like if you look at some of the videos on like when Elliot and I don't know the lady's name, but she was a part of the mission team. Talked about it, you could tell that they talked about the things and changes they'd made from the same type of mission earlier on in the year, like how they removed all the data pads that nobody could find and shit like that. So they are learning. They are only human, just like you and me. They do make mistakes. But as long as they're improving, that's what I want to see. The progress may be slow as hell, but as long as you're moving forward, progress is being made. Anything you want to add to that, Algared?
Nope, that's a pretty good summary.
Right. Add a request to raid this gentleman. I don't know who he is. Do you want to tell me who this person is, Daft, real quick? I do not know who he is. His name is Pesty. I don't know if that's good or bad. I don't know anything about him. He's got currently got 17 viewers. So we might raid over to him and
up his count.
Break his follow bot. That's what I always like to do. So I'm going to type in raid now. Hang on, raid, PESTEH. Let me just make sure I got that all correct. Double check real quick because I did this one time when I raided Grim. I got it all wrong. Copy paste that to make sure I don't wrong. Right. And enter. Right. Raid being milled. Raid being milled. Man, what is wrong with me? I'm super tired. Raid being made. Right. So raid over there. Break his follow bots. What can we ask him? He's in a raft. How is he loving the new missions as he crashes into the ground? Yeah, oh boy.
Enjoying the raft.
Yeah. We set some people to help and give you misguided advice, distract you.
Yeah.
So he's a good dude, says Duff Digit. Okay, that's high praise come from Duff Digit. So yeah, we'll listen in. You guys have fun. Twitch should say goodbye to YouTube. YouTube say goodbye to Twitch. Have a good week. We'll see you next week and look forward to the video releasing this week. Hope you enjoy it. Right, with that then, they're off. Let's listen in.
Can't really see it. There's a little line that looks like it's ground, but it's
See if they break that follow button.
I think it's some shadow from something. Oh, wow. Welcome in, Inforunners. Thank you for the raid. Thanks for bringing all your people here. Let me get your shouts out.
Yeah, that's it. Smash that follow button. He's actually got custom stuff, which is really good.
Nice one. Thank
you. He's done his own things. That's good.
Yep.
I gave an also shout out from the raid. Excellent. That was working. So how's
it's like it's never worked before.
Welcome in, everyone.
We're just answering questions, bro.
For the follow. Didn't see who that was, I'm afraid. Bear with me 1 second.
I love that. Like someone followed. Oh yeah, sorry, followed. Don't know who you are, but yeah, thanks. Too much going on. That's what I mean. Like they can't keep up because they're not used to it. Yep. All right, I think we'll love him and leave him there. Have a good stream, mate. That's good. Right, with that then, don't forget to like, subscribe. I'm gonna hit that button. Where is it? There it is. Like, subscribe, ring that notification bell, and thank you to everyone that went the extra mile on Patreon at the end of the video. Anything else that we've got? Any PSAs and stuff like that? Yeah, I'll just say get in the Discord and share ideas on shirts for the QA team. That would be my request.
And don't forget, if you want to go in the running for that meteor, go watch that video.
True.
Like, subscribe, be a public subscriber, and then send a message, and you'll be in the draw.
Yep. Yeah, I think that's everything, isn't it? Yeah, cool. All right, on that note, he's been Algared.
He's been Execute, and we're out of here. Take care.
No one clips shit for bucks on clip of the day. No one do that. No one do that to me. All right, bye. See you, citizens.